I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
You're watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee. I don't drink.
Hey, you're watching Poindexter.
You are watching Poindexter Lounge.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on chicken.
And now make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. Do you like nerd stuff? Yeah? Then you'll love this. You never know what might happen or who might show up at the lounge.
I just want to thank you for being here and being my friend. It's always good to have someone you could count on. And I'm glad you're that for me.
Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, and it is great to have you with me in the lounge tonight. If this is your first time to the lounge, wow, man, you finally found us. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you're finally here, and so is everybody else, I'm sure. Everybody's good. Everybody's glad you're here. Hey, welcome. If this is your first time to the lounge, just know that the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my crew can get together and talk about all the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, and toys, and so much more. And if those are things that get you excited, if those are things that get your blood pumping, if those are things that get you debating your nerd friends about, then hey, please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you can be part of what we're doing here. All right? That's how YouTube works. that's how this all works. Is if you subscribe to the channel, and it helps us to know that, yeah, hey, you know what, so and so is here. Yeah, they're in with this, and that's cool. And then if you hit that notification bell, that just allows you to be able to be a part of the conversation and to know when we go live. Also, right now I'm putting our Discord link. Join us on Discord because we want you to join our Discord as well. All right. The Discord is a lot of fun. There's a lot of great people over there and a lot of cool things that are happening over on Discord. Even if you're not normally a Discord person, like I've said this many times, but a lot of times people, they're like, I don't really do Discords. This Discord, I think, is different. This Discord's got so many different channels with so many different topics. I mean, like just now, like I can pull it up. And I mean, there's a ton of people here that are talking about all the nerd stuff that you and I love. I mean, some people are talking about collectibles. So I mean, different channels for all this. We got collectibles, we got art appreciation. So if you make art, if you draw or whatever, you can upload that right there. We got comic book talk, DC Comics talk. We got a hall of memes. We've got where you can drop all the memes that you want. We've got talk about Marvel comics. Yes, even Marvel comics. Yeah, I'm telling you what, we got it all. We got movies, music, Snyder Cut stuff, because people are still talking about the Snyder Cut and the Snyderverse, restoring that. And that's active. Star Trek, Star Wars, TV shows, video games, it's all there. And then there's all kinds of rewards that you can be a Padawan, a Jedi Knight, a Jedi Master. You can rank up. It's just a lot of fun, and you're just going to want to be a part of that. So people are talking, people are having fun. It's like the chat that we have here on a live show, but on steroids. It's really cool. So there's that. Also, hey, I just want to thank you all for real quick, serious moment. I want to thank you all for your well wishes and your thoughts that you guys have sent me over the last 24 hours. I found out yesterday that I was no longer going to be employed where I was currently being employed. And so because of that, it's been a weird year for me. That's happened now twice to me this year. And look, in my line of work, stuff can happen. You have different types of personalities and different people and different things. And, it's better that if it's not going to work, it's better than staying someplace for years or whatever, or there being, contention later down the line. And so it is what it is. But you all know, like, I try to stay positive and I try to keep a positive outlook on things, and I keep my head up. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. And, like, I'd be lying to you. But like I said, I appreciate so much the love and the outpouring that when we talked about it a little bit on last night's stream, just the messages that you guys have sent, the stuff in the chat even, and everything just means the world to me. And it really helps me. And actually, I'll be honest with you, those are the things that I was focusing on, yesterday as I was trying to lay down and go to sleep, and everything's rushing through your head, all the things you got to do now, and and the things you can't do now, because of that, and just everything going on in my head last night, just trying to fall asleep. And but I was thinking of all of you great people who have encouraged me, and I get lots of messages from you guys about how this channel has encouraged you, and that is why this channel is here. That's what I'm here for. That's what I hope the Poindexter Lounge is to all of you, and I know that a lot of you have shared that with me over the last couple of days, and and over the last weeks, months, whatever, year, that this channel helped you guys get through some difficult times, and so I'm eternally grateful that you guys are here, and you mean the world to me. And so just want to say thank you. And so not just not just that, but also want to thank everybody, of course, who supports the channel. All of our patrons, you guys are awesome, and everyone who gives super chats, it is greatly appreciated. It helps us literally keep the lights on right now, and so just thankful to all of you guys for that. Also, thank you to all the members. We got some awesome members. We got some great people. We're well over 50 members now, and you guys are awesome and great. And so thank you guys for that. And then also, look, I've been so busy. I said I was going to do it tonight, but then I also thought about the fact that since we're doing a spoiler debate about the movie Venom, the movie, it's been out now for, a little while, but I know that there are still people who have not seen the movie. And I know that there's probably some people who won't watch this video, this stream, especially because they haven't watched it yet and they don't want to be spoiled for it. And I can respect that. So that being said, I'm going to wait till tomorrow night's stream to announce the winner of this week's giveaway, which is this Batman. It feels like we've been doing this forever, and I apologize, but yes, this Batman is going to go out. We're going to give this away tomorrow. Okay. So there you go. It's Batman Unmasked, Thomas Wayne, looking all good there, courtesy of Mark at Benson's Emporium. So thank you, Mark, for supplying this. Someone's going to walk away with this. Why not you? All you have to do is either be a member, a patron, or give a super chat at any time, and you're automatically in the running for this bad boy right there. All right. So that being said, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And actually, we got some people who aren't even here yet, who are... RJ's not here yet. RJ, by the way, last night, I know a lot of people were concerned. RJ is good as far as I can tell. He's in our private chat that I have, and so with me and him, and so he was doing okay. So where RJ is, there was flooding last night, and he abruptly was gone, and we were concerned because we knew that they were having some issues there where he was, and with flooding, and they had told him they couldn't leave their house and stuff, and so we're glad that RJ's okay. But now we're just waiting for RJ to come in here. But that being said, you know what? Hey, let's go and see who else is here. I do got a couple people who are here already, but we'll get started with that in just a second. Captain James Biggins says, it was fine to me. That took me less than 1 minute to say it and finalize my opinion. I'm guessing you're talking about Venom. We're going to jump into that. I stated my opinions about Venom, but we couldn't get into all that stuff because of the spoiler issue. Like you can't, it's hard to make some of those points about that movie without being able to get into spoilers. And so we're going to get into that a little bit tonight. What's up, Anchorman? Anchorman says, how long has been since I discovered and had commentary on this channel? I don't know, man. You've been here for quite a while, and I'm glad you're here. Anthony Beltray says, hello, Enosh. Venom 2 was a 6 out of 10. The post-credit scene was great. We're finally going to get to talk about that post-credit scene. What's up, Blake Taylor? Says, how's everyone's night going? We're doing good, man. And you're one of the people that I got to... Blake won our last giveaway, which was this bad boy right here. The Watchman. So I got to get that out in the mail to you too. I messaged him and told him, hey man, it's just been a crazy couple of weeks. So, but I am so glad that you're here. Ambassadorial Wing says hello to all. Our good friend Tony is here, and so he says hi to everyone. Jesse Allen is in the chat. What's up, Jesse Allen? Good to see you, brother. Let's see who else. Bradley says, what up? Virtual hug, elbow cough. Is Max going on? I didn't even realize Max was going on, so I apologize. What's up, Protoss X? Good to see you. Says, hey yo. Geek Studio is here. Says, just stopping by saying hi. I would stay, but I haven't seen Venom yet. We're gonna talk some spoilers, so we're gonna get into this. Protest X says, ugh, I like both guys. That's good. Max any night. I love Max. Hopefully Max maybe will stop by if Max is listening in, because I'd love to hear Max's thoughts if he's seen the movie. Let's see here. Nerd Cosa Nostra. There's my guy right there. I love this guy. This guy is super nice, and it's great to have him as part of the Poindexter Lounge for sure. And he has blessed me. He blessed me with the gift that keeps on giving, the gift of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So there you go. He sent me first. This is the cool thing. Dude sent me first the Blu-ray of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then turned around and sent me the trilogy, man, on 4K and Blu-ray. So, man, what a great guy. And so one of our next giveaways will be Zack Snyder's Justice League. And actually, something that I picked up just before I picked it up yesterday at the comic book shop, because I actually got issues 2 of both Batman 89 and Superman 78, because I've been reading that. And it's funny because they had a complete pack of the John Byrne Man of Steel reboot that I've given away now a couple of times here on the channel. We've given away, I think, 2 up to this point. And so we're going to give away another one at some point. So I was able to pick that up. So I was glad that I was able to find like a complete set of that to be able to give to someone, because, look, I love introducing people to that version of Superman, because that was the version of Superman that I read, growing up. So I'm hoping to still be able to go to Comic-Con, Motor City Comic-Con. That is next Saturday here in Detroit. And so I was gonna go, and I wanted to meet oh my gosh, I'm totally having a brain fart right now. I interviewed the guy, my goodness. Dan Jurgens. Sorry about that. I interviewed Dan Jurgens, and so he's going to be at our Comic-Con. And so I was really hoping to be able to meet him in person. Job situation. We'll see if we can budget. We'll see if we can do it. But I'll let you know on that. But if we do, hopefully we can get like a little bit of a video with him while we're there. What's up, Rhea? Good to see you, Rhea. Says, what's up with the chat? Hit the like button. Yes, Richard Gilbert is here. What's up, Richard? Azteca, good to see you, Azteca. Always. Let's see. Brian is staring into my soul. I know. So I got to explain what happened there. I started to go live, and I've got a light over here. I got this red light over here, and I got a blue light over there, and I'm actually going to rearrange this room a little bit so that it's more backlit. But I've got this light, and I went to go turn it on, and the light fell. It's like clamped onto a shelf, because you guys see, I've got these shelves and stuff, and so it's clamped onto a shelf, and the whole shelf, my Empire Strikes Back shelf that's like right above the desk here, almost came down. And I mean, like, it knocked over some stuff. It knocked over a bunch of stuff that was over here that I'm going to have to pick up later. But I was like, oh, crap. And then I was trying to put all that together. And then when I was getting everything going, that first thing, the Ryan Reynolds drop, I didn't even hear it. And I was worried that there was a problem with the sound. That's why he was kind of staring at you there for a minute. But got it worked out. And so he's good. You Do Suck is over on Twitch. Yeah, so if you have Twitch, head on over to Twitch too as well, right? Don't, leave your YouTube up, but also, leave one up over on Twitch, even if you like mute one and watch it wherever, man. It helps us out on Twitch too, right? So it's everything, right? That helps for sure. And so we appreciate that. You Do Suck. Yes, and says, hit that subscribe button on Twitch. I'm not really sure how all the Twitch stuff works. I need to figure out, I'd love to do some retro gaming over on Twitch, which I think would be fun. So we'll see. Yeah, Richard Gilbert's here. I got that. Blake is here. Best part is Kermit. Anthony Grigsby is here. Good day, everyone. This is looking forward to RJ versus Enosh. I am too, if RJ gets in here. He's just taking his time, I guess, tonight. Bradley says, what's up? And see, I'm going to message. RJ says he'll be there soon. Okay, cool. He's just running late. I had hoped Dawson was going to join us tonight, but I don't think Dawson's going to be able to join us now. So that's a bummer. But unless y'all go over, like start tweeting him and be like, Dawson, get over here. Let's see. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. Appreciate the love, guys. You do suck, so I'll tell you something. Our Discord is not the devil. Our Discord is actually very cool. Everybody there is super chill. We do not tolerate nonsense over on our Discord. So it's probably the most chill Discord you're gonna find out there. We don't let people like go back and forth on each other and and argue and stuff like that. It's all there to have fun. And so check it out. They couldn't handle Enosh. That's their loss. So it's funny that you mentioned that because I kind of prepared something. I guess this is my statement about what happens when you suffer loss, you suffer job loss, you suffer whatever. You just got to get up and keep going on and take this approach.
You want to hurt me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better. I'm an easy target. Yeah, you're right. I talk too much. I also listen too much. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you, but I don't like to hurt people's feelings. When you think what you want about me, I'm not changing. I like me. My kids like me. My friends like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
That's right. What you see is what you get. This is who I am. So there you go. Thank you, Blake. Appreciate the love and the the respect for sure. Richard Gilbert says, "You get what you give, Enosh. This channel is a support to me through some rough times." Thank you, guys. I'm really blessed that you guys look at this channel not just as just another YouTube channel, but that literally as a place where you guys can come and feel the love, right? Let's see. Yeah. Whoops. Yep, there was Dawson. There was Dawson says, "Hi guys, just dropped by to say hi. I apologize for not being able to make it to the stream tonight. Got commissions to get done. Unfortunately, happy streaming." He can't draw and argue with us at the same time. What's up, Hayden Nate? Good to see you in here, sir. DL, you're welcome, man. Come on in, bro. Come on in. I was expecting you anyways. I know you said you're going to be late, but it's not actually, we're going to have a panel of people to discuss it. So the people who have said, don't think it's just me and RJ. It's not just me and RJ tonight. We're going straight up on with it. Okay. So, yes, Nerd Costa Nostra, you're absolutely right. We need to connect on the 50th member giveaway. Yes, let's touch base on that and some other stuff too. Cool. Yes, please. Let's touch base for sure. All right, guys. Hey, Nate, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I'm so glad that you shared that. My birthday was just a couple of weeks ago, and I think that's important. I think it is important that we recognize people and show them some love. So absolutely. Happy birthday to you, my friend. All right. Hey, there's Cherie. What's up, Cherie? It says hello. I can almost hear it in your voice, Cherie. That's awesome. That's awesome. So welcome, Cherie, to the show. All right. So now we're going to bring my first two guests in, and then I guess as everybody else. So I know some of you guys are saying that Max is streaming. Hold on just a second. This is what we're going to do. We're gonna mess with them a little bit if they're still streaming. Are they still streaming? I'm just looking to see if Max is still live. Because I didn't mean to go over his show. I try not to do that. It's so hard when you have so many friends that that all stream, because like it's really hard to know when everybody's streaming. I mean, if we waited, we would never stream. and that's just the facts. Okay, it looks like I don't see that he's live. I don't think so. Yeah, his stream must be over. So, all right. Yeah, it's hard sometimes to know when other people are doing stuff. So I try not to, go over people, but then, like I said, we would never stream. So, Hey, Blake, I like the way Blake thinks here. Says, hey, y'all, please become a member. I haven't seen any as of late. Come on, y'all. I love that. I love that. For sure, man. We need more members. We need more people to become part of Poindexter Lounge. So please, if you're not a member, join in the fun. There's lots of stuff. I'm going to have a member stream on Saturday. I'm going to have a member stream. It'll be members and patrons only. And so we're just going to have a hangout and, and do stuff. So, and I got some ideas. I got some things kind of brewing in my head about, some things that I might do, including the idea of a second channel possibly, but a little something different. I know a lot of you guys have talked to me about like, my faith and stuff like that. And, hey, if I'm not going to be at a building right now, might have another place. And I don't want to do it here on the lounge because, this is the lounge. This is a place where I don't want people to feel like they're being preached at. But I've had people say, hey, what would you think about maybe starting a second channel where you could kind of talk about some of that stuff? I'm thinking about that. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. For the ones that are interested, like I said, it's never a thing of, trying to tell other people what to think or forcing that on anybody. But if you're interested in that, let me know, because I'm trying to make some decisions now about kind of like what's the next thing that I'm going to pursue. Am I going to pursue going straight to someplace else? It's hard when you lose a position because your heart is into it, man. And my heart is always into it. I think you guys see, like, I bare my heart and soul before you guys, like, every night. And, it's hard to think about like just starting up all over again someplace else, right? Because especially when you're taking your family to a new place like that and trying to get them to buy in and everything, and then all of a sudden something doesn't work out. It's weird. But virtually we could still do a lot. And so anyways, just something I'm thinking about. Let me know what you guys think. Real quick, Keely Chow, what's up everybody? Good to see you. You do, Tony, and we'll talk about that. You got some more stuff coming, bro. Anthony Grigsby here with a $5 Australian super chat says, plenty of room here for more members. Hashtag Poindexter Lounge family. That's right. We're all here together, and we're all in this together. And hey, there's our most important subscriber right there. Miss Tiff, the lovely Tiff-tastic. That's my girl. That's my woman. And she's great. I'm really thankful for her. And there's nobody that I would rather do life with than that woman. So I love you, babe. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you right back. So, all right. Sorry. You don't know how awesome Tiff is. And I couldn't do what I do in any way, in any capacity. Not just this channel, the YouTube thing, but anything I do. I couldn't do it without that woman. And sorry, not meaning to stop the whole thing, bring the whole thing to a crashing. This is how you start the debate, right? No, I'm just telling you. I know you guys don't always get to see Tiff a lot, and you guys are always asking about her. And I've told her she needs to do her own show here on the channel because she's awesome. But I want you to know that even though she's not always physically here and you don't always see her on camera and everything, that she is the backbone to everything that I do. And without her encouragement, look, and I've been in a situation before where I was in a relationship where I didn't have the encouragement that I needed, and it affected me greatly. And Tiffany has always made me feel special, important, and treated me with the love and respect and the encouragement to be who I'm supposed to be. And I love you, Tiff. I love you. Okay. What's up, Darker Game Supreme? Good to see you. Thank you, Jared. Hayden Nate says, I got you, babe. I love you too, man. I love you guys so much. Seriously. Todd here with a $5 super chat says Venom was good at the box office because it will have a Marvel connection and Marvel is gold. Thanks to Kevin Feige. I kind of want to tease you and get like that Peter Griffin drop that's like, jeez, nobody cares. But no, we do care. Todd, it's funny. Todd, if you haven't noticed, Todd likes Marvel, and he thinks it's the gold standard. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Just see some of your comments. Thank you, Ambassador. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you, DL. That's true love, man. Salute to you and Tiff. Thanks, bro. Thank you, Cherie. Yes, she's my queen for sure. Tiff Sear says, I didn't mean to get you emotional. I just wanted you to know that I love you and I support you and we got this. This is just another bump in the road. You know what? There's yeah, she can't be here all the time because she has to get up at 6 a.m. I do too half the time, but you know, you guys know by now I'm a vampire. So thank you. Oh, hey, look at there. Jared has become, I'm lagging here. I don't know if you guys, if I'm lagging with you guys, but it's lagging behind for me. But hey, Jared, welcome to membership, bro. Hey, Jared is our latest member here at the Poindexter Lounge. Thank you, sir, for joining up. We are so glad to have you here, man, and thankful that you have you've decided to become a member. That's awesome. That is so super cool. Let's see, what can I give you for that? Oh, I know what I'll give you. I'll give you one of Cherie's favorites here. I love this song. Ah! What a time to be alive! So I love the song that you're singing, man. The song of membership. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you so much. All right. That being said, I see all the love. Holy cow. Holy cow. Wow. Hold on. I need to get my people in here, but am I gonna hold on just a second. Nerd Cosa Nostra. Wow, bro. Wow. I'm humbled, man. Holy cow. With a $99.99 super chat. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Says a little something for you and Tiff. Have a night out and relax and enjoy each other. We'll chat soon. Dude, you guys, I'm telling you, I'm not going to, this is supposed to be a Venom debate stream. But man, oh man, dude, you're awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's really cool of you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't trade you guys for anything.
No way. I will give you all my Star Wars guys if it is. Wait. Except Boba Fett. No matter how sure I am, I never risk the Fett man.
I never do. And I always keep like, you know, a few Fets around just in case. We got a whole case of them back over there. But thank you, Nerd Costa Nostra. Dude, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much. I always say, like, I never expect anybody to give anything to this channel or to me or anything. Anything you guys ever do bless us with is always just so appreciated. And so thank you so much. Todd Fair here also with a $10 super chat says Spider-Man No Way Home will make the Marvel universe even greater with the multiverse that DC is copying, but Marvel will crank out many $billion-dollar movies. So I'll go halfway with you on this one, Todd, because Spider-Man No Way Home is going to blow the doors off of the the theater going experience. It's going to go well over $100 million domestic that first weekend. It's absolutely going to be all of that and even more. So yeah, that's I'm right there with you. as far as that. And look, and I think it's going to be awesome. I just finished the last episode of What If, and that was crazy. So look, I agree with you on that. Here's the problem with the other statement though, that DC is copying. See, that's the weird part about this, is that DC is actually not copying. And we're going to get into this. Trust me, guys, I see you back there. We're going to get started. Like, give me 2 minutes to just cover this. The DC is copying thing, Todd, like DC has actually had a plan in place to do this multiverse movie for quite a while. And DC has actually had a full functioning multiverse before Marvel did, in the comics and different media. So it's really not DC copying. The problem is, and I predicted this. I predicted this before. By the time we get to the Flash movie, where we see their version of a multiverse, and especially if they use that term. I was talking with somebody, I can't remember if it was RJ or somebody else said that I hope that they don't use multiverse. I hope that they use like Elseworlds or something, because that's a term in DC, but DC has used multiverse for a long time. My concern is, by the time they get there, Marvel is already going to have all this stuff. They're going to have already talked about the multiverse. They're going to be like past it. It's a year from now, and they're already fully fledged into the multiverse now. And yeah, look, so I get how it will look. But it's not necessarily, it's like a technicality that it looks that way, but it's not necessarily the case. DC is not copying. DC had this in place. I mean, it's just like with Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman was coming out, and was that Kevin Feige literally changed elements of Captain America Civil War to kind of be more in line with that, to kind of be more of a reflection of Batman v Superman at the same time. It is what it is, but hey, we're nerds and we're reaping all the benefits. So there you go. Tiff says, oh my God, Nerd Costa Nostra and Todd, thank you so much. Tiff's awesome. Thank you. Yes. Thank you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. Jared says, okay, Nerd Costa Nostra, I see you trying to outdo me. Hey, no, man, we're glad that both of you are here and thankful for everything. It doesn't matter if it's just somebody watching and supporting the channel that way. Maybe you don't skip the advertisements, up the annoying advertisements on YouTube, or you do, and it doesn't matter. You're just watching, and I appreciate that. Or you give $1, or you're a member at $1 or a patron or whatever. It doesn't matter, guys. I mean, it does matter, but I'm just saying I love you all, and I appreciate you all. Tiffany and I both appreciate you. My whole family does. Blake says, whoever becomes a member tonight, I'll take credit for the push. That's what he was saying. Let me find that again. Only Enosh can take credit for my membership. Much love. All right. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna bring some people in. Oh my gosh. Wow. Craziness. Todd Fair here with a $50 super chat. Thank you, Todd. See, I feel like just when I start to get out, they bring me back in. Wow. Thank you, Todd. Much love to you, brother. Says you and Tiff should watch some Marvel movies. We got it, dude. We watch Marvel movies all the time. Like I said, we just watched What If tonight. We watched the Marvel movies. I love the Marvel movies. Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Thank you, Todd. Todd, you rock, man. You rock. Definitely appreciate you, bro. I don't know if that even played. This is like, I'm getting such a delay. So I am a fan of The Boys. I can't wait until The Boys comes back. Everything is like delayed for me. So I'm going to bring everybody in, and I think that I'm going to jump out and jump back in real quick. So let's get to our panel. Thank you guys for being back there and being very patient. Appreciate you guys being here. But first we have, welcome back to the stream. Hasn't been here in a while. So glad to have you tonight, Mr. Ambassador. What's going on, brother?
It has been a while, and glad to be back in the lounge.
I'm glad I didn't wear that hat. I was going to wear that hat, and so I'm glad that I didn't wear that hat.
Why? What's wrong with this hat? It is a fine.
Nothing wrong. No, that
fine-
would
Yeah.
there ain't nothing wrong with that hat. That's a beautiful hat. That hat starts so many conversations. I'll tell you what, Dawson has that's a great looking hat. That's like one of the best hats
I
ever. Now
know.
everybody always asks what it stands for, and I just always make up something different, Not in my Winnebago, I don't know.
Hey, Cherie, good to see you. And I just want to say this real quick, Enosh. And this is not a dig towards anyone in the chat who is married, but Bud, you and me, we got some awesome wives. We do. We would not be here today if it were not for our wives encouraging us and backing us up and giving us a random swift kick in the keister anytime we get out of line.
Heck yeah, for sure.
Oh,
all right. Block that there. Okay. Also here tonight is also another great friend of the channel. This is of course Tony, aka Ray the Drunk in Canada. What's up, Tony?
Canadian, but thank you. I'm good.
In Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one of my
I'm great.
Canadian brothers.
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good, man. It's been a while
well.
since we've talked, bro.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of days off where you stream and I'm off. So, yeah, no, it's nice to see you.
It's good to see you too, man.
It's been a while. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your job deal. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, I didn't either until last night, but it happened, and we're
things always happen for a reason, man. It's cool.
Exactly, and the weird part about it is, and I kind of shared this last night, and I won't get into too many details, but the weird part about it was like it was actually like causing me issues to be at the place that I was at because I'm licensed through the Church of the Nazarene, and the church that I was working at, it wasn't a Nazarene church, so I literally had to submit like all this.
Is that license to kill or?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
Okay.
No.
You're not allowed to kill anymore.
I'm a licensed minister.
Last night.
I'm a licensed minister in the Church of the Nazarene. And so the funny thing was that it was actually causing me issues to work in the church that I was working at because it wasn't a Nazarene church. And I had to submit like all this paperwork and everything. And and there was all this other politics because the guy who's in charge of that church that I was working at, like came out of the Nazarene church, and there's people who really like him and there's people who really don't like him. And so like, I was like, what in the world is going on? So like, I had to go like jump through all these hoops, and I thought I had finally worked all that out. And here's the crazy thing. Yesterday morning, I almost lost everything. Like literally everything about me because I woke up yesterday morning to an email.
There was a tornado.
No. Yesterday morning, I woke up to an email from the denomination that I'm a part of saying that they had not received the paperwork and the formal request that I had put in to work at a church outside the denomination because they make provisions for that, but you have to request it to stay on the records and for them to keep you. If you don't do that, they drop you because you're not a part of the church anymore, right? So you're not a part of that organization anymore. So they're not your covering anymore, And so
when did church become so much politics and paperwork? I thought church was like all about like faith and crap.
Well, it is.
You know how I feel. You know how I feel.
I know. Well, it is.
That's what I thought church was.
It is, but at the same time, I mean, but this goes to show you, like, for people to like know what kind of goes on behind the scenes. Like, this is why, like, most of your ministers in this world are good people who love people, who are just trying their best. Look, there's always the sensational, over the top, crazy people who are doing insane stuff, who are on television trying to get your money and trying to do things, and acting weird and crazy and doing, weird things in the name of God. And I can't stand that stuff. But that being said, most ministers are just good people. And the thing is I do think that it's a good thing that we have the organization that we do like in place, because when you have that, there's accountability, right? So there's accountability, right? And I think that's important because like a lot of these people that you see out here doing these crazy things, like they're like these little independent factions, right? That it's like, they're just kind of doing their own thing. And so they have no accountability. So that's why nobody holds them in check. People always wonder like, well, why doesn't anybody hold those people in check? Well, that's why, because they're kind of just doing their own thing. Right. And so there is nobody to hold those people in check. So I appreciate that. But the thing was they had not got my paperwork that I submitted back in August. Right. And so yesterday morning, I got it was a very nice message from the district superintendent, and he said,
Of course,
"Hey,
it was a nice message.
No. No, this wasn't the message that fired me.
People.
This wasn't what fired. This wasn't what I got released for. I should say. No, this was him explaining to me. He says, "Hey, we had this conversation because I had sat down and had a conversation with him about how I wanted to stay, right? How I wanted to stay." And he said, "Yeah, Enosh, that's great. We want you to stay. We love you. Like my denomination loves me." And I just noticed You Do Suck says I'm a non-denominational minister, and it's awesome. That's where I grew up as non-denominational. Actually, was not a part of a church body like that. We were independent, but I've really enjoyed being a part of the Church of the Nazarene. I joined that in 2013. And I'll be honest with you, it's been a great experience, but they didn't receive my paperwork. So he sent me this email and he says, "Hey, we had sat down, we had talked, and you said you'd wanted to stay, but I hadn't seen your paperwork, and we just had our yearly meeting. And so we put you, like they didn't drop me." That's the thing, is they love me. They actually want me to stay. And so they were, they didn't want me to go to this other church, but I needed a job. Right. And so the thing is that they actually reached out. He actually reached out to me. He says, "We didn't receive your paperwork, man." And they could have voted to just say, "Well, Enosh is gone, and I guess he doesn't want to be here anymore." But they didn't. They just put me as inactive, right? But they kept me as one of the ministers. And so, fortunately, I was able to get all the stuff to them again because somehow it had gotten lost. It hadn't gone through. And they said, like, he immediately got back with me. And this was like at 5:00 last night. So like by 5:15, I got an email back from him. And he was like, "Thank you, Enosh. We'll take care of everything from here. You're all good." And so I was like, whoo, right? Because I almost woke up like not like credentialed anymore. Like that's how crazy it was. But that's what I was going through to work at the place that I was at. And then at 6:00, I get the message that, yeah, this and this, whatever, the typical stuff, and it was like, well, I didn't even need to submit all that stuff now. It's like,
you should start the Church of the Jedi.
You could have told me yesterday, but
you can start a Jedi church. Come on, man. You could still marry people and stuff.
I can now. And so, you know what? I'm telling you, I got some ideas. I don't know if I'd start a Jedi church, but you know what I'm saying? Like having something where if I started something, I would want it to be something. I did pastor a church for a while. Like I started a church called Down to Earth Ministries, and it was just a real laid back place. And if I do something like that again, that's what it would be again, because this is who I am. And I try to be as real as possible. Now, okay, we got two other guys here, and I know they're waiting patiently too. We got sidetracked, so I appreciate it though. DL in the middle of a drink. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. He's getting hydrated. Look at him getting hydrated. He's ready.
Get my Superman water on.
Nice. That's some super water.
That was vodka.
No, he's not you, Tony. He's not. Well, he doesn't come on the Poindexter Lounge.
Yeah, I'm not a drinker, man. I'm not a drinker.
Oh my gosh. All right. And so then here's the guy. I don't have a face to put on this to bring him in, but I've only got the oldest face. So here, this is for RJ.
What are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance. Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Damn, disrespect.
No, we love him. You love him. It was our discussion earlier this week that actually got us off on this idea of doing it, but we couldn't get into it deep enough because of spoilers. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel once again, Mr. RJ, or as he's titled himself, let's get ready to. No, if you think I'm doing that and getting hit with a copyright, you're crazy. Let's get ready to rumble.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Wrong movie.
They Live. That was They Live, wasn't it?
Wrong movie. And so I'll just since you got the wrong movie, I'll just do it for you, RJ, and just be like,
he ad-libbed that too.
If he dies, he dies.
I must break you.
I would break you. Yes. All right. Josh is like RJ.
Hey,
Terrible.
I thought that was a great opening line. Come on, give me some credit. Come on. I was gonna do the Let's Get Ready to Rumble, but Enosh took it from me, so I had to come up with something else, you know.
Oh, there you go. I stole it. Ha ha! Stole it right there. Just like I'm gonna steal this argument.
You will lose.
Well, before we get into that, I was just gonna mention that What If finale was great, by the way. I watched it.
Yes, it was.
Night. It was great.
Yes, it was.
It was really good. It was really good.
Plus, Agatha show. What the heck?
Don't care.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Hey, I listen. That character is really important in the comics. That's all I'm gonna say.
In the comics, yeah. What are they doing in the MCU?
Well, I mean that's great and all. That's great and all. But I think the better question is like, I'm really surprised that they're making a show of her. I mean, like, like Junkman even contacted me today and and asked me about Agatha, and I was like, I don't know why they're making a show about Agatha, as seen here.
As seen here.
That's great.
Now, do you know who this is?
Unless I'm mistaken, isn't that a character from Bewitched?
No.
No,
So it's funny. Junkman actually has a video that he put up today. Did you know who this is, Tony?
I do, but I don't know off the top of my head.
All right, so this is Agatha. But not that Agatha. Junkman sent me the question, said today, said, do you know who this is? And I was like, gosh, man, the face, she looks really familiar, but I couldn't, I couldn't place who she was. And so, so he says, thanks, man. You just made my latest video. And I was like, what? So he put out a video today where he asked different YouTubers and people. He even asked Walmart, and he asked, who was the other one? Buffalo Wild Wings, if they knew who this was. And even Matt Jarbo, he asked Matt Jarbo, and nobody knew who this was. And this is Agatha. This is Agatha, who was Higgins' love interest on Magnum PI.
That's
okay. Oh,
okay.
I wouldn't have got that. Nope.
Yep. Neither would I. So, but I thought it was funny. So he was like, I don't understand why everybody's talking about Agatha today. I mean, like all of a sudden out of nowhere, but okay. So since we're getting started with this, I'm gonna take that down. I'm gonna jump out for just a second. I'm gonna restart my my StreamYard because I am lagging horribly, and I don't know what it looks like to you guys. It might look fine to you guys, but it looks horrible to me. So I'm gonna jump out real quick. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sure.
Look at them. Look at him.
I have
Run
like
away.
20
Look at him run away from the debate.
Mm-hmm.
Running away because he knows I'm going to destroy him.
Coward.
So, what are we going to debate? That number 1 was better than number 2, or number 2 was better than
some people here.
They
Some
both
people
sucked
here.
ass and were nothing like the comic books.
Some people here didn't like the movie. Some did like the movie. So it's more of a conversation about the merits of the movie.
Yeah.
I saw it Thursday night when it came out. Like I went to.
As did I. I saw it Thursday night as well.
I sat in one of those D Max chairs, not D bag chairs. D Max chairs. Yeah.
Yeah, but no. To answer the thing about the Agatha thing, like, trust me, she is worthy of getting her own shows in terms of what they could do with that. You know, you got Billy, and Tommy.
Then bring Mephisto. If you're gonna bring Agatha in, bring Mephisto in.
No. We don't need Mephisto. We don't need Mephisto. He's an irrelevant character in the Marvel Universe. He's essentially the devil, and who gives a rat's ass about the devil?
He's an interesting character, though. I mean, he had his own limited series, and Agatha didn't. Right? Agatha didn't. He had his own limited series. Same time Punisher and Wolverine did. So,
as much of a Marvel fan as I am, Mephisto is just one of those cosmic characters I just don't care about.
I don't care about them either. Nobody cares about any of them. Eternity, death, none of them. No, we don't care about any of them.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, yeah. Unless you're,
I'm not
like,
saying that.
Unless you're doing Neil Gaiman shit, nobody cares. Okay, like we all want to see Galactus.
Here's the thing with the Agatha thing, right?
Go ahead, RJ.
No, I was going to say, the thing with the Agatha thing is that she has ties to Franklin Richards and the Fantastic Four, who we know are coming to the MCU.
That's why she's interesting.
She has the ties to the supernatural stuff, and they're going to start expanding that going forward. She has the ties to Wanda, and especially Billy and Tommy, who are going to be Young Avengers coming up pretty soon.
And who they cast was amazing. And who they cast was amazing, and they should give her...
She just signed like a multi-movie and TV show deal. She's going to be in a lot of stuff going forward. You're going to get a lot of...
that has a lot to do with it, more than it does the comic book, you know? It has to do with the actress who's portraying this person.
She got Emmy nominated and almost won.
They are amazing. They are amazing.
I think, honestly, she got... Personally, I think she got robbed. I think a lot of shows got robbed at the Emmys, all because of The Crown. No one cares about The Crown. The Crown can go stick. The Crown could go suck it. Suck it long. And
but I just noticed today a lot on social media, everyone's like, why do we need this show? I don't understand. It's like, there's so much potential with that character for what you could do with her, like standalone wise.
Screw Venom. We need a Mephisto. We need a Mephisto.
I'm just saying. Don't underestimate Agatha, because that shows.
I'm
huge.
not. But do you think she's going to meet the expectations that you're setting up? Like, do you think they're going to live up to all that with the Fantastic Four?
I'm going to wait and see what the show's about. But regardless, here's the thing: regardless of what her show specifically is about, the fact that we know she's going to be in multiple movies and shows going forward tells me they have a plan with her, and the plan with her, if they follow the comics, is very exciting.
And sometimes
because not only does she
character, and you know what? I think they're just going to put her in because she is such a fantastic actress or actor, whatever they want to be called. I'm sorry, whatever they want to be called. That's what's going to go forward with Agatha. It's not necessarily what her contribution in the comic books is anymore. I think it's just somebody who's like taking this character, run with it, and everyone's like, wow, we really, really like that. So we're going to put her in more things.
Plus that What If finale, some of What If was hit or miss for me. There were some episodes I really liked, some episodes I didn't particularly care for, but overall the finale kind of like put like a nice little neat bow on everything. I liked how it very much felt like a play off the events of like Avengers Infinity War, like a more condensed version of that with like a team assembling to try and take down the guy with all the stones. The post-credit scene at the end of that episode was fascinating to me. I can't wait to see what they do with that character, both those characters going forward into season 2. I wouldn't mind if they gave Captain Carter her own show, to be honest. It might be controversial, but I will
watch that.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, the thing I'm going to be more interested to see is where they go from here, because honestly, this first season, I will say this.
It felt like a bookend,
this might
kind of.
Huh?
Would you say like it felt like a bookend, kind of?
For what if? No, I don't think it was a bookend. I think it was like the opening chapter. Honestly, I enjoyed the series across the board. I can understand there were some episodes that some people may have checked out of. That's fair. Not every. I mean, it's kind of like with me and the Star Wars Visions. There were some episodes that I wasn't all in for, but there were episodes I absolutely.
And that's exactly what it happens with an anthology show. Some episodes are going to hit for you, some won't, because they're each individual stories are trying different things. You know.
Yeah, but the interesting thing that they did with What If, it is an anthology, sort of. But what they did connect. But they did connect and everything, and I think the way they weaved this first season was really interesting. I mean, we got more time in a different take with each one of these characters that we have met previously, and I'm going to say this, and I have friends, I have people that I associate with that really came down hard on What If, and you know what? That's fine. That's their prerogative. But the thing you have to remember, what is the term what if? It's a hypothetical. What if?
It's the Watcher.
Sometimes it's meant to be silly. Sometimes it can be tragic. Sometimes it can just be insane, out of control.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
it's the movie. I think it's the movie Heavy Metal in my mind. Every time I think
about
it.
I know they say with season 2. They say with season 2 is that they're going to explore Captain Carter more. They're going to start diving into the other MCU movies, including like Shang-Chi and Black Widow, and the Disney Plus shows. That's something else they want to explore, like what ifs for the Disney Plus shows. So
Okay,
I'm looking
cool.
forward to that. My biggest hope for season 2, though, is that they end up getting more of the actors to come back. Because I think that was one of the biggest pitfalls with season 1. I liked Lake Bell as Black Widow. I thought she did a good job. But other than that, I'm like, it's just too distracting. Just get everybody back.
I don't know. I guess the
I
voice
will
acting
say
never really bothered me that much.
I will say this. The one actress I wish they had gotten back, and yes, I know this is going to be a very hot take. I wish they got Brie Larson back for Captain Marvel.
I don't understand how they didn't get her back. That was confusing.
Maybe
what is she doing?
Yeah, like what else was she doing?
Isn't the Marvels shooting right now?
Yeah, but this was in production like years ago, though.
Oh,
like they were recording the audio at least like a year or 2 years ago.
Maybe she was doing something else. Who knows? But I hope if there's any more episodes centered around Captain Marvel, get Brie back. Please get Brie
get
back.
more of the actors back, please. I would really appreciate.
I
that.
don't think they'll get. I doubt they'll get Downey back. I doubt if he would come back.
I can deal with not having Robert Downey Jr. because the guy who does the voice sounds close enough.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
But some of like the more ancillary characters, I'm like, why don't you just get the same guy? They got freaking Michael Douglas to come back. Michael Douglas, and that man's very old. You know, he's doing his thing. It's like, it's like if they can get Michael Douglas to come in and do an episode, you can get everybody back. I mean, come on. It's like one day, just have them all record their lines.
I liked who they had for Ultron, but at the
I
same
miss
time,
James Spader so much.
Yeah. James Spader, James Spader has a very...
Not even the voice, you didn't miss his voice?
It's not that his voice was bad, but just like, I guess I keep like tying it with how he was written, which I didn't like. So like James Spader...
In the movie or in the show?
In the movie, I mean, in the show was fine. Like, but for me personally, I just don't really care to get James Spader back, honestly.
Because to be honest, this was a much better version of Ultron. I loved Ultron in the show so much.
I liked Ultron in the movie, but I also liked him in the show. I'm good with both. I was good with both.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope we get more of the Watcher too. I'd like to see more of Jeffrey Wright.
Man.
Like, do you guys think they'll do like the Watcher in live action, or is he just going to stick to being an animated character?
I mean, they technically already did in Guardians 2.
True, but not the Watu. They have not shown us a Watu in live action.
I think one
of those Watchers could have been a Watu for all we know.
Yeah.
True.
I think they probably will one day.
But here's the really interesting thing. I think we may see the Watcher at some point. We could potentially even see the Watcher or another cosmic being. We're obviously going to see the Celestials in the in Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Guardians Volume 3 or even Quantum Mania right there, that might be a potential where we might see a live-action Watcher. And I genuinely hope they're able to get Jeffrey Wright to do the voice. He did a great job. When I heard that voice on that first episode, I was like, "Is that Jeffrey Wright?" And I looked, and then when the credits rolled up, and it was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, they got such a good voice for the Watcher."
Yeah.
And what they did with it was very simplistic, but it worked. It worked so well. So anyway,
cool. Well,
Our host is back.
I'm back. Yes, I took a couple minutes and I did some stuff. I put a message in the private chat there, just because stuff going on in the chat.
Roger.
We're just not gonna tolerate any of that. We've been nice. We've been nice. I live rent free in these people's heads, and I've kind of traced a few of them back, and so I know who they are now.
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, and so I know they think they're cute. And you know what? I thought it was funny for a while, and I still think it's funny. Like, it's not gotten to me. Like, it's just
so much effort for no reason.
It is. It really is. And I mean, I think they're proud of themselves. But to me, it's not even about me, because like I don't care. If you think that I care that you call me woke or you know, whatever you guys.
What is
say,
woke?
Like,
I really want to know what woke is. People
Woke is about being
well,
woke is the term that is used for people who are socially aware of things going on, and so it shouldn't be such a negative term, but people do use it as a negative term because there are people obviously in our society who take those things to the extreme, like just like anything, right? There's people who take even good ideas and take them to an extreme where then like it's like everything is somehow bad or racially motivated, or everybody's a racist, or everybody's against equality. Like if you just have an opinion, like I've had differing opinions before where somebody's like, oh, you're a racist. No, I'm not. Like we've all talked about it. DL's here. DL hates the idea of Black Superman. Unless it's Calvin
or
Calvin
Valzad.
Like if you haven't noticed, DL's my friend and he's black. Now he's not my black friend. He just happens to be my friend, and he just happens to be black. And he doesn't like Black Superman, right? And here's the thing. Look, William comes in here all the time. Try to get William to shut up about that. Because it ain't gonna work. William don't like it either. Like I know I have plenty of friends who are people of color of different backgrounds, and whatever, and they hate those ideas. But there are people who will say that if you don't support that fully just because of what it is, that somehow you're a racist, right?
Could there be black people on Krypton? There could have been black people on Krypton, though, right?
Yeah, no, that's not the idea. I know sometimes.
Well, I don't mean that they would be Superman, but they would be as strong as Superman.
No, we've had the conversation because they're working on two different Superman projects right now. One is a project that will either involve Calvin Ellis or Val Zod, who were both versions of Superman, but they're black. But it's in the multiverse, right? So they're a person of color. But there's also a movie that's supposedly being worked on right now that's just a black Clark Kent story. And
I didn't even know DL was black either. I didn't even know.
Okay. So hold on, because I'm seeing this in the chat. People are actually shocked that I'm black. What did you guys think I was?
They're trolling.
I totally knew you were black.
Okay. What do you think? I'm Puerto Rican? Like I don't know what else.
Hey, Truth got me with that one night. I thought Truth 31. When I first met him, I mean, because all you see is he wears a mask, right? He wears a mask, and so like I never knew. Like I thought that Truth was black, and I asked him a question one night about that, and yes, Saggy, you're right. See, Saggy's here. Saggy's here in the chat. She's like, yes, dark skin doesn't mean black.
Saggy's lurking.
I know. I've got a picture of my grandmother. Actually, I'll have to show this to you guys sometime. My grandma at my mom and dad's wedding. My grandmother looks like a black woman because she tanned so much. People thought that she was a black woman. I mean, and you look at these pictures. I mean, she is. It ain't like, hey, that's a white lady who's got a really dark tan. It's like dark. Right. But like, look, Saggy is too. She goes, I'm black and I'm light skinned. So like, it doesn't matter, like the point is, but that you asked me what woke is, like a lot of people, like they attribute that to people who take social issues like way too far. Right. And so, just, to the ridiculous ends that they are. Now, I've always maintained I'm not on the left and I'm not on the right. I am not on a wing. I am right here in the middle. And I base my decisions and my thoughts on truth and what I see and fairness to everybody. And I think that's how most people are. But the problem is the people on the wings are always the loudest, right? And so, whatever. And so it is what it is. But you know what? We just don't care. But for some reason, these guys, they're coming in here. They obviously have nothing better to do with their lives, and they think that by calling me woke or soy or whatever, like I just think it's stupid. Like I think care.
You're more oat milk. You're
spending hours of your night.
I don't drink soy. You know what I drink. You know what I drink? I drink Premier Protein. It's got 30 grams of protein, only 160 calories. Yes, only 1 gram of sugar. And 24 vitamins and minerals.
Good for your colon.
Right there. That's what I drink, folks, because I had bariatric surgery, and so I have to have the protein. So there you go. There's your commercial, Premier Protein. Become a sponsor of the show. I drink you guys all the time. You and Rockstar Recovery. You and Rockstar Recovery should be. I drink you guys enough here on the on the channel. So there you go. Anyways, okay. Yes.
We finally talk about Venom.
Yes, we can talk about Venom. Let's talk about Venom.
Please.
All right.
I'd like to go to bed sometime tonight.
How do you want to start this though? Like, what
Okay,
do
so
you
this is how I'm gonna start off because I want to be able to hear everybody. I want everybody to be able to give it. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a round. We're gonna go around, and all I want you to do is tell me like your initial thoughts of the film, right? And the score that you would give it out of 10. All right. So Ambassador.
We
set a base. You know?
Okay. My score of the film, 7.5 out of 10. It was good. I felt it could have been a lot better, and I'll explain why when we get into that portion of the debate.
Okay. Tony has stepped away, I think, for a second. So DL, your initial your initial thoughts of the movie and your score.
I enjoyed it personally. And I thought I liked it a little bit more than the first film. I thought the first movie was fine, but I found quite a bit of issues with it. And so with that mindset after watching the first movie, like I'm going into the second movie not expecting too much. And I pretty much got exactly what I expected with the second movie. Is it great? No. Is it exactly how I pictured it from the comics? No. But as like just a mindless action movie, I was entertained by it. So I probably give it like a 7 out of 10 as well.
Okay. All right. And then Tony, we'll go back to you.
I saw it on opening night. I had not seen the first one, but I decided I would watch the first one right before I went to the second one.
Okay.
So literally watched the first one, got to the second one, got there for the opening credits, and was game on. I'm like DL. I was a little disappointed it wasn't closer to the comic books because I'm more of a comic book guy, and I thought both movies, I was like, these are fun rides. These are fun movies to watch, kind of like watching Rambo or something. You know, like it means nothing. It's mindless. But it disappointed me that without Spider-Man, you don't have Venom. Without Venom, you don't have Carnage. And I don't know. It was okay. I enjoyed the ride. I will say that. Enjoyed the movie. Glad I paid the money. Don't get the D-Max seats for this one because it really wasn't worth it. Other than that, yeah, it was okay. 7 out of 10.
All right. And then let's see who. I don't think we have anybody else who's going to be debating this. No. RJ, your thoughts.
Yeah, no. Okay, so just to clarify,
Stupid! You're so stupid!
I know I am.
I'm gonna get. Just by the way, I love RJ. For anybody out there, I'm giving RJ a hard time because RJ and my disagreement on this movie is what has prompted this.
Oh yeah, we're gonna come to heads.
Yes,
you know,
we're gonna come to what?
Come to
heads.
Say
head. Did you say heads?
Heads.
Come to heads.
Yeah, come to heads.
It's come to hands.
That was come to heads.
No, we're gonna throw hands. We're gonna come to.
I could have swore. I swore.
Why would you come to heads?
Would you like head button? Like
clashing of the head? Yeah, head
butt heads. You head butts, but you don't come to heads.
No, you come to hands.
I don't know anymore. So just for clarification, the first Venom I thought was perfectly fine. I'm kind of in the same boat as DL. For me, I'd probably get like a 6 out of 10. It's fine. I think it struggles a bit with the third act and with the villain. This one, I think, was marginally better. It's still a flawed movie. I'm not going to sit here tonight and tell you that there aren't some flaws with it, because there definitely are. We can get into it. But I think it was a fun ride. I think it was a more streamlined version of the great elements I liked from that first movie. And I thought it was a much better villain with a much better third act, so I'd probably go with like a 7 to 7.5.
Okay,
you're outnumbered, Enosh.
Well, it's not the first time. It probably won't be the last time.
What did you give it? What did you give it?
Well, so here's the thing. I have to say this first of all because there are some people who will just say, well, Enosh, you don't like Marvel movies or whatever because of that. I like Marvel movies. This has nothing to do with a Marvel movie. If there's any character that I know about in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in Marvel, whatever, not just Marvel Cinematic Universe, I should say, in the comics, in all of that, okay, is Venom. and Carnage and Spider-Man, because the only Marvel books that I actually read when I was a kid were because me and my friend Rusty, we were both into collecting at the same time. I was into Superman and DC, so I collected that. He collected Spider-Man and he collected Wolverine. So we would go to the comic book shop every week. He'd get his Spider-Man stuff because he still liked Superman, but he would read mine and vice versa. Okay. Amazing time that was, because like he was collecting during the time that like Wolverine had his adamantium stripped by what's his name? Magneto. When Magneto like just finally was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna rip all the adamantium right out of your body. This is the mid 90s, man. It was good stuff. And then also like he collected the entire like Carnage series, man, and like read Maximum Carnage while it was happening. I actually have Web of Spider-Man numbers 1, 2, and 3, which is the introduction of the black suit. I have other Spider-Man comics that I've collected.
It's not the introduction of the black suit. Black suit is 252, Amazing Spider-Man. Also,
Web of Spider-Man is the first appearance of the black suit.
No, it's not. Secret Wars number 7 is the first appearance of the black suit.
It's the first ongoing. Well, hold on. It's the first something with the black suit.
And the first one is Amazing
Secret
Spider-Man
Wars.
2.
Tony is correct. Secret Wars is where the black suit first appeared, but you didn't see it in the traditional Spider-Man books until that Web of Spider-Man issue.
No. Amazing Spider-Man 252 is the first. I know, because they say there's 3-1. It's Marvel Team Up 43. It's Amazing Spider-Man 242 or 252 or whatever it is, and it's Secret Wars 7. Those are the 3 appearances. Trust me, I'm a comic book guy. Those are the 3 first appearances of the black suit. 100%.
Well,
We're already having a debate and you got to the movie yet.
Classic Nerd Wars, ladies and gentlemen.
I will tell you this.
I'm not even joking. Look it up.
I will tell you this. I can't remember then what it is, but Web of Spider-Man number 1 is important to the black suit. It's absolutely important to the black suit. It's been a while since I pulled it out and actually read it, so.
Ryan, you just missed me saying my thoughts. Ryan just asked me, what do I think of the movie? I just said my thoughts. You missed it.
Hold on a second here. Anyway, that's not important. But anyways, I've collected I've collected various Spider-Man comics.
I know what it is. Web of Spider-Man was the issue where he broke free of the black suit.
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So it's just been a while. But the thing is like I read the stuff. Okay. So like that was the time of stuff that I was really into, like Spider-Man and all those things. Now, that being said, I loved Venom 1. I had the same, concerns and feelings about stuff, just like everybody else, because there's no Spider-Man. How do you have a Venom movie now? And I get it. They introduced later a different, version of Venom where he didn't have to come from Spider-Man or whatever. Whatever. My thing is, for me, he's Spider-Man. Like, and he's an offshoot of Spider-Man. Venom is an offshoot of Spider-Man. So I had to
look like that. Why does he
right,
look like
exactly.
that?
I've been saying that all week, Tony. Like you just throw Venom in there, and it's like, what? Like he doesn't even look like. Why does he look like a big black Spider-Man?
And
big
that is the problem. That's the problem with this franchise since the moment it was conceived. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
with
exactly.
no Spider-Man, you can't have Venom.
Right. Now, that being said, I really loved the first movie. I actually just watched the first movie twice on Sunday. Okay.
Like I said,
it was on TV. I own the movie. It was on TV. I was on the couch. I was kind of laying there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch Venom. Because I just watched it Saturday night, Venom 2. And then all of a sudden it came on again. And I was like, I was still doing something. I was on the couch. And so like I watched it again. I love that first movie. I think that first movie is a great introduction. I think that the characters are well fleshed out. I think that they took their time on it. They built to us to an end. Even though, people don't like the symbiotes or whatever that were in that movie, I felt like the symbiotes made sense given that movie. That movie made sense. I went into Venom 2 with a big concern. How do you do Carnage? How do you do all this stuff? And you still got no Spider-Man. Okay? And we'll get into that later about what's coming. But you have no Spider-Man, and in my opinion, they never showed really the hardcore connection of why these characters even interacted with each other, why they even had beef with each other, why they even cared about each other. There were no preliminary skirmishes or fights or anything that led to a final battle. It was, hey, here's a bunch of stuff. Here's Cletus. Here he is. Here's Woody Harrelson. Now he's Carnage. He gets the powers because he bit Eddie Brock, but why the heck does he care about Eddie Brock? And don't tell me it's because he wanted to be Eddie Brock's friend. Why did he want to be Eddie Brock's friend?
They
Hold on. It's my turn. I let you all speak.
Okay.
All right.
No. No. There is no, there are all these little things. And yes, there's these drawings and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it's just, hey, here's a great big battle. We're all fighting at this non-wedding wedding. And guess what? Carnage's girlfriend or Eddie Brock's girlfriend is Shriek. So she just happens to have that power to be able to,
Carnage's girlfriend.
What did I? Well, it's not Carnage's girlfriend. I meant
Cletus.
It's Cletus's girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And so there's this back and forth and stuff, and then there's this BS about how they weren't really a good match, and screw all of that. And in all the midst of this, then they make Venom out to be like, oh yeah, oh he's a red one. Oh, I don't want to deal with the red one. Oh, but then when you promise him that he can eat people again, then he's like, okay, no problem. And then it's done within 5 minutes. It was absolute BS. It pissed me off more than any movie I've seen in the last few years. I literally left the theater angry and thinking this entire movie was just a setup for it's not stupid, but for the stupid post-credit scene, just so you could freaking show Spider-Man. And oh, by the way, we're finally going to put him in the MCU. Screw that. I was happy about that. But concentrate on the movie that you're trying to show me, not on the movie that's going to come 2-3 movies from now. And then you have him bite his head off, and you kill off a character. So you're never going to get a maximum Carnage unless they, redo it and, pull some BS like that they're going to redo it now, because now it's going to be in the MCU. Multiverse crap and everything. But the thing is that it was all BS to me. At best, I give it a 5 out of 10. And that's giving it something nice because of the end credit scene. Because the end credit scene to me was the best thing. It was like a rehash of the first movie again. It was like we learned nothing from the first movie. Eddie and Venom weren't any farther ahead than they were when they first got together. They're still arguing over the same stupid stuff. They're still having the same problems that they still had. They learned absolutely nothing. So the first movie became almost pointless because they didn't learn anything from all that. And here we're supposed to be a year later. Now, that's my initial statement. Before we go anywhere else, holy crap, Real Elmo Cinema. Dude. You're going to make me cry again. You're going to make me cry again. I cried once this stream already. Dang. Real Elmo Cinema with a $99.99 super chat. Dude, thank you so much, bro. You are absolutely awesome, man. Really appreciate it. He says, I heard about what happened, Nash. I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope this will help. I want to let you know that you're a great person. When I met you at H. Bart's party and looked at those beautiful eyes of yours, I could tell that you are a great person with a good heart. Thank you, bro.
Well, that's
appreciate
nice.
It, man. I appreciate it, man. And I hope that you and H. Bart's can make it to the Halloween party. So thank you. That's exciting, and I appreciate you, man. So here's a little woo for you.
Showtime! Woo! 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 Woo!
Very nice.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. All right.
I need to immediately address the thing you said in your wonderful rant. You were asking the question, why does Cletus want to be friends with Eddie? He doesn't. The point of that scene was that this is the problem I think the movie has, that it moves so fast some of these details with the story go so fast you can't process it very well. I think it's a flaw with the movie. But they established that he was ultimately using Eddie to report on stuff so he could write in the newspaper that was being delivered to Shriek so that he and Shriek could stay in communication with each other. He was using Eddie the entire time. He didn't really want to be friends. He was using him and his reporting to get published in the newspaper to communicate with Shriek. That was what the purpose of that scene was.
We only saw that once. Why were they so familiar before? Because I just had watched the first one before that. And that's why I was confused, because I was like, they don't have any scenes together. Like, why are they so familiar?
Well, the end of the movie, they established that Eddie's getting in contact with Cletus to interview him because he requested him, right? Because a disgraced journalist is going to want to talk to him because it's a big opportunity for to rehabilitate his journalistic career. That was the point. Cletus knew this. He took advantage of it to communicate with Shriek. That was the point of, like, it wasn't like, oh, I want to be friends with Eddie. It's no, he was using him to communicate with his girlfriend in the jail because, that was the point.
I just thought the familiarity between the two of them.
So,
when I was
so you go after a disgraced guy like Eddie Brock who lost all that stuff, who's trying to come back, and that's how you're going to do that.
Yeah, that was
and act
he's
like
a crazy serial killer.
Okay, then what's the beef?
Like, what do you mean?
Master, are you gonna say something?
I'm just asking what's
No.
by the way, Josh, thank you for your comments. It's because it's about Venom and not Spider-Man. No, I get that. Look, that was the argument that people were giving back when Venom came out, and I understand that. It's a Venom movie. I think my point and the point of other people who are Spider-Man Venom fans is it's very strange, and I get it. There's a comic that absolutely, goes beyond all that, but as far as like the core of Venom, it really doesn't make any sense to really have Venom without Spider-Man. But look, they weren't able to do Spider-Man, so I get it, right? Like I get it. They wanted to do this Venom thing, and I get that.
It has to be R-rated. If you want to do Venom, it has to be R-rated. Like, do Wolverine?
Does it?
Well,
yes, it does.
I will.
Think about what the original Venom is. What the original Venom is, not this guy who is a jokester in these movies. Okay, because that's not Venom.
Oh yeah,
That's 100%. Have you, like, some of those '90s comics? He cracks some jokes. They're dark jokes, but he's cracking jokes.
Yeah,
in those
but cracking
90s
jokes
comics.
is one thing, man. The trailer for this movie got me ticked off. Well, it didn't get me ticked off. It had me worried because look, Carnage is not something to be played with. Carnage is not a side character. I felt like the disrespect for that character was full on, dude. Woody Harrelson, like as Cletus, like was not serious.
Killed it.
But I mean, but he wasn't serious. Like he was all this stuff. But the thing is, like, great casting. But the thing is by the time you introduce Carnage into it, Carnage isn't. They don't portray Carnage in the movie as being this, guy who's just gonna like kill everybody, massacre everybody. That's the whole point. Is Carnage is already that way. Then you add Cletus to it, and Cletus is a mass murderer. So man, you just have absolute carnage. Like you're just killing people just to kill people. Then, and like you never really get that. You get like this kind of thing where like I'm holding out, I'm gonna do all this other stuff instead, and he never really achieves that level. And so when the trailer came out and it was literally just filled with one joke after another, I was like, uh-oh, this is not serious. Go ahead, Ambassador.
If I might. I can understand where you're coming from, Enosh, and for those of you that read the comics, I did read some of the Spider-Man comics that did have Carnage involved. I get that criticism. I even share it. Here's the thing. This has always been this is my theory, and I think this is a theory that's been floating around amongst those of us that have been discussing Venom for the last several days. I think I can't substantiate this one way or the other. I think there is, I hope there is, a R-rated director's cut of this film, and I think if that version of the movie exists, you will get the absolute maniacal, insane, bloodthirsty Carnage that we all expected. Now, in terms of the casting of Woody Harrelson as Cletus Cassidy, I was on board with it when they showed him in the trailer. I thought his performance as Cletus Cassidy was very good. Was a perfect adaptation of the Cletus Cassidy that appears in the comics. No, it isn't. But again, there's two things at play. They edited this movie down for time, but I think they also edited this movie. They edited a lot of the more graphic and the more violent sections of Carnage's story arc. I enjoyed this movie. It was a solid 7.5 out of 10. I had the fairly same experience that DL had. I went into this as a comic book movie, action movie. I almost would put this in the era of the 1980s. It was one of those movies you go in, you watch it, you enjoy it, you walk out, and you're done. And you might come back to it maybe once or twice a year.
So I'll agree with you, Ambassador. You know what vibes I got from it? I got 90s superhero cheese fest.
Yes,
vibes
but
from
the good
it.
type of
Even the soundtrack. And look, I'm a musician, and usually I don't pay a lot. Honestly, I don't pay a lot of attention a lot of times to soundtracks unless they're like really good. You know what I mean? Like for me, a good soundtrack is one that affects me emotionally and everything without me having to think about. Like when I hear people going on about, oh, this soundtrack is amazing. Like I'm not listening for that. Like if it emotionally affects me just on a subconscious level, that's I think the best one. This one though, at times, to me, this started hitting all of the just kind of cheesy 90s tropes of a film, like point A, point B, point A, point,
So like the first movie.
point. Yeah, but worse,
Like
not
the
in a
first
good
movie.
way. But not
Because
in
the
a good
first
way.
movie is
Worse than the
basically an
first movie.
early 2000s, 1990s comic book movie.
But the soundtrack to this actually got my attention because the soundtrack to this sucked. It was just it was all this rising, falling, almost Batman and Robin-esque, like, ooh, super, like listen to these notes and stuff that was like, I get no emotion out of that at all. It's just a rise in tempo or a rise in tone. And it's like, what?
I mean, like, I granted, I'm not a musician, so I probably don't have the ear to notice that stuff as much as you do. But it's like, even I have a big appreciation when it comes to scores and soundtracks in movies. And for me, it just didn't stand out to me like that. And granted, both of the movies, the first one and this movie, the scores didn't really stick out to me that much anyway.
Exactly,
I don't even
I agree.
remember anything from either of the movies.
And that's a problem with most superhero movies today, I would argue. The scores are very uneventful and unmemorable.
Yeah,
it's like the last.
Yeah, like Batman '89, for example. If I ask you about that, right, what are you going to hear? You're going to hear that whole da 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 da.
Yeah, it's iconic. Yeah,
and I love it because
I'm looking to hear the Prince soundtrack.
Right, yeah, the Prince soundtrack too. But I mean, many times though, in that score, like it teases you, right? Because it doesn't resolve, right? It'll do da 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 da. Like it builds on itself and everything, and sometimes it crescendos. And it ends on the da da, right? And so did the animated series, for example. They used that same soundtrack, right? And it became synonymous with that. And then sometimes it wouldn't do that, and it leaves it. You know what it does is it leaves your body and your mental state in a sense of like you want that completion, you want that resolve, and if you don't get it, you have a tension. And then when they finally break that tension, it's awesome. What this movie felt like to me as far as the music was that it was trying to accomplish that. It was trying to have, it almost sounded in a lot of ways like they almost copied and pasted. I heard some stuff on there that it felt like they just copied and pasted literally some stuff out of like the bad elements of Batman and Robin soundtrack and just kind of put it into this one. And because it didn't have any memorable like hook to it, but it just had all those cliche rises and falls in it. But like, look, that's not even my big thing. I want to address Saggy here. Saggy says Venom and Eddie have the same problems because they have yet to meet Spider-Man. That should have nothing to do with it. Like literally. And here's another big gripe about it. They want this Venom to be a hero, not an anti-hero. That's BS. No, this Venom is not an anti-hero. Venom at most, he's either crazy and a villain, or he's an anti-hero, the lethal protector that you're scared of. You never know what he's going to do, never know if he's going to do the right thing. This Venom is straight up, they're trying to make a hero. I've heard people say, well, yeah, they're going to put Venom in the Spider-Man movie, because they're going to make a Sinister Six. BS. How are you going to tell me this Venom is just going to turn evil? He's a good guy.
He's not going to be in the Sinister Six. If anything, I
don't
think
think he's going to be.
I've heard people tell me this since our conversation on Sunday, RJ. That's like, you just don't know because they're going to put him in the Sinister Six. I don't see this Venom turning around and going, I'm going to join all these villains because I don't like this Spider-Man.
Unless he's manipulated or brainwashed, there's no way.
There's no way. Because, and just tell me that you see the same thing that I see. That like this Venom is not an anti-hero. This Venom, they want to be an actual hero.
He is a hero.
I think the biggest. Sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
No.
But that's what I'm saying with Saggy, though. What I'm saying with Saggy is that, like, Saggy. The point is that like Venom is supposed to initially attach himself to Spider-Man. Spider-Man rejects him. He hates Spider-Man. He finds Eddie, who also hates Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and that anger brings them together, and that's what gives us the Venom that we know. The problem, like, it has nothing to do with he's going to have the same problems he had in the first movie because he hasn't met Spider-Man. That has nothing to do with it. It's just that they did it in a weird order, and they put Brock. And the thing, too, is, like, Brock is a good guy. Brock's just a guy who's trying his best. You literally feel sorry for him because his love interest is marrying somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to tell me that Brock is going to be like, I hate this Tom Holland Spider-Man, and I want to kill him?
Well, the way I looked at it was maybe these movies were set a little bit more in the future, and all this other stuff is going to happen in the past is the only way I thought they could do it. You know, to how do you bring in Venom into the MCU without Spider-Man is, all these movies are canon, but they happen before Secret Wars. You know what I mean? Like,
I doubt we're going to get Secret Wars. Now, here's the thing. I know we haven't gotten to this particular part of the movie yet, but we almost have to bring it up because of a particular line of dialogue that Venom says to Eddie. You do not understand the vast knowledge of the universes that we symbiotes inhabit. And here's the thing. This particular Venom may not have direct knowledge of, or may not have had direct contact with Peter Parker. But another Venom from another universe may have had contact with another Peter Parker from another universe.
Maybe it's
now
Tobey
the question.
Maguire.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing.
If Topher Grace shows up, I'm out.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What Ambassador's saying is that the symbiote has knowledge of other symbiotes who've had encounters with Spider-Man.
Yes,
so there's
exactly.
a natural desire to go after him.
What if the symbiote from Spider-Man 3, that Venom, is connected to the Venom that we see here, and that's where the antagonistic aspect. I'm not saying that necessarily this particular Venom is going to have the same vendetta against Peter Parker or may not have any vendetta whatsoever against Peter Parker. But here's the thing. I know I'm going out on a limb here, but here's the thing. What if Venom says, I'm not going to let any of you guys kill him because I want to kill him myself because it wronged one of the other Venom symbiotes in the universe. And here's the really wacky thing. If we're going to have Toby and we're going to have Andrew, specifically Toby, what if that particular Venom what if Eddie Brock's Venom, this particular one, goes after Toby? If he does appear in No Way Home.
So let's address that. First of all, Josh, you know, I appreciate you, man. But
Josh, we're not trashing on it.
I don't think that's fair. Like, I'm the only one who's saying, like, I have an issue with this, and I love this character. Okay, so yes, I am a big DC guy. I will never back down to that. I will never act like I'm not. I will never act like I don't have some kind of a bias when it comes to Marvel and DC because I love DC stuff. But that doesn't mean I don't like Marvel stuff. And yeah, we're reviewing a Marvel movie because we love it all. Like we love all this stuff.
Plus, what else is out right now?
I'm a Marvel guy.
Well, and look, Tony is the biggest Marvel guy. You know, RJ is a Marvel sympathist.
Sympathist. I like that.
Sympathist. I'm a full Marvel guy.
If you shorten that, you get, you know, simp. No. He's messing. I just gotta give RJ a hard
Josh?
time. I give
Just real quick
RJ
to
a hard
address,
time.
sorry,
But,
just to
but yeah.
address Josh's comment. Yes, I do like the concept of the multiverse. I am a fan of it. I am a strong proponent of it, and this is going to be the next phase in one degree or another for the MCU. And McLovin, I know you're over in Jarbo's stream the other night. It is good to see you back, and welcome back.
He's
and
been
we
here
missed
a
you.
couple of times. I saw him first, I think, and then
Okay.
I watched Jarbo. Then
Fair
I watched
enough. I
Jarbo's
haven't
stream
seen him,
because
but I
I
haven't
was like,
interacted with
McLovin, I love McLovin. Where have you been, bro? And then I was watching Jarbo's stream, and all of a sudden, like Jarbo saw him, and Jarbo was like, "Dude, there's a name I haven't seen forever." Yeah, we're glad McLovin is back, man. I miss McLovin. Dork Knight here says, "Never disrespect Prince's magnum opus, Batman, the classic like party man." Oh, party man, so good. That which is where I get my term party people based. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Let's see. I just want to before we move on, I just want to kind of catch up here. Peter got. I mean, there's a lot of story arcs here, right? That we're like. That because of the way that they're introducing this,
listen, the Venom thing was screwed from the jump because again they didn't have Spider-Man in their universe, so I'm sure like we could talk about that post-credit scene for like an hour if we wanted to. Like that's how much in depth we could go into that conversation if we wanted to, but you know.
I love Zeno. I think this might be too much discussion for what appears to be a shallow movie in character.
I don't know if it's shallow.
I don't know if it's shallow. I mean, Venom should be a
he should be like an onion.
Yeah. He should be a well-developed character, and I think that's why I think that all of this, that if you guys get anything out of this, it's that we really do care about this character, right? We care about Venom, we care about Spider-Man, we care about Carnage, and we all just have different varying degrees of like our. I think really we all just have different degrees of like our when you really just break it down, of our disappointment in it. Because I mean, I think even RJ and DL, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have even said that like you kind of went into this kind of knowing that it wasn't going to be great anyways, so you just kind of live it.
Well, exactly. I would say, well, DL, you can go.
Okay, I would just say that's exactly it. Like starting from the get-go, this already feels like an artificial product of what Venom is from the get-go. Not having Spider-Man create Venom, that's already a major issue, and people just ignored that. It was like, okay, we'll just go with it, whatever. So of course they're going to do whatever the hell they want after that point. If you were really thinking you were going to get an authentic version of Carnage after the first Venom movie, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. You want it to be rated R, it's not going to happen because the first movie made a whole bunch of money, PG-13. So Sony's like, oh, we don't have to make this rated R because people will watch this PG-13. So we ain't.
By the way, the majority of the people who want to go see Venom 2, kids and families. Just saying.
Yeah. Now,
but then you bring up the question. No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like, then you bring up the question, like, should a Carnage movie be directed towards kids?
Hey, kids growing up read those comics, Enosh. Kids are exposed to the Carnage character through video games and all that stuff that is marketed to kids. You know.
Well, I wouldn't say kids per se. I would say more so teenagers for sure.
Well, yeah, teenagers. Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So, I would say definitely. You know what? Me and Enosh, we're a couple of years apart in age, quite literally. We grew, I imagine, well, Enosh, not so much you, but definitely myself. I grew up in a household where we would go watch R-rated movies. Always and it was usually with my mom and my grandmother, and I don't want to get off a big tangent here. But the thing is, teenagers are really accustomed, or I think most teenagers can handle R-rated material. It just depends on what it is. If it's language of violence, hell's bells. Like I said, I grew up watching Friday the 13th and John Rambo and Schwarzenegger tearing people limb from limb, for Pete's sake. So that's Carnage going and ripping people up, that wouldn't have been a big deal for me if they had done that in a movie. Granted, they couldn't have done it back in the 80s because, well, CGI didn't exist, and if they tried to do it, it would have stunk. Let's be candid.
I mean, look, we grew up watching, stuff like this.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Go ahead. Make my day.
So, I think getting...
Or even...
Here's Johnny!
right? So,
well, I was just gonna say, it's like, my thing is like, I knew what the first Venom was. I knew what to go in expecting it based off what the sequel was, and what I got was a better version of the first movie, which I had some issues with, especially with the third act and the villain. So I thought it was much more enjoyable. It was more action-packed. Again, that 90 minutes was briskly paced. I liked that, personally.
Yeah.
I liked how it was moving along, and it cut straight to the point. It was more digestible versus the first movie, which I think takes a little too long to get going. It takes like 40 minutes to really get the Venom stuff and get stuff going. I know it's an origin movie, so you can excuse that, but this wasn't an origin movie, so you could, like, again, move along a little faster, which I liked.
I just feel like they used their time in that first movie. They used their time in that first movie a lot better. And here's the thing: I was disappointed with the first movie in how they started out the Venom story and all that stuff, right? But and by the way, Josh, no hate on you, man, for defending Venom, dude. Nobody's
no. Hey,
dude, nobody's mad at you, bro. Like that's not. I was just explaining our position, man. That like we're just talking here, man. This is literally just a bunch of nerds. We all love each other, no matter how we tease each other or whatever. At the end of the day, dude, we all love this character, and that's why we're talking about it. We love you. But the thing is like I came to terms with the first movie, and I enjoyed the first movie for what it was. I felt like that first movie was a good springboard. Now, okay, if this is who we're gonna get, if this is the Venom we're gonna get, now up it for the second movie, make it better. Don't regress to like a regurgitated, half-witted version of the first movie again, where it's like literally we took 2 steps forward in the first movie, and then we literally took a step and a half back at the beginning of this film.
I don't know if I agree with that, because it feels like a natural extension of where that first movie left off, though.
It's supposed to be a year later, man, and at the end of the first movie, like they're getting along, they're learning from each other, they're learning how to work together.
They're not getting along, though, necessarily.
But yeah,
they made an
they're,
agreement to where it's like, if we're going to exist together, we have to do it this way. But Eddie's getting tired of that. He doesn't want to commit to that relationship.
But what I'm saying though is at the end of that movie, they were learning to work together. They had come to some kind of agreement. By the second movie, literally, it was like the first day that they got together again. Like there was no progression. There was no like, hey, we've worked on this for a year now, and we're coming to terms, or like, and it even followed It even followed that age-old trope of, hey, I lost my powers halfway through because here goes Venom. Venom's like, I'm ticked off and I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, well, that's a little less superhero movies do when you want to develop the character.
These movies did that?
Exactly. It was like okay.
And those movies did it great.
Superman 2, man. Like Superman, gets rid of his powers. Like he did it. They did it best in Superman 2. Like what? What are you gonna say?
Here's the best part. See, they think they're taking Superman's powers, but he reversed that shit and took their powers. He flipped it and dipped it!
Right, like,
well, that's the thing, though. So, you need to have character development. You need to have some kind of stakes and some kind of character growth or journey for Venom and Eddie to go on. Should it have been done the way it was? Then we could debate that. I understand the intent behind it, though. For me, it worked because I liked what it was doing. That's just me personally, though. Like I said, should have been most of the runtime, but I thought it worked for what they were trying to do. Because the end of the movie, I was saying, okay, we're committed to this. We're going to be the Lethal Protector, and now we're jumping into the next phase of things when we'll get into that.
Lethal Protector made me laugh so hard. Lethal Protector!
Yeah, they actually said it. They actually said Lethal Protector, which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Again, I think it comes back to the fact this movie was heavily edited. So we're not getting the full story here. I mean, what we got was, like I said, 7.5 out of 10. If Sony is listening, and I may start tweeting this out maybe once a week or whatever, if there exists a circus cut of this thing that's got more in it, that gives us more time with Cletus and with Shriek and with Eddie and Venom and with Anna, give it to us. If you want to release the theatrical cut, great. If you want to release the R-rated extended cut, also great. Do it.
I mean,
I'll buy it.
Did this movie really need to be rated R though? Because for PG-13, I thought it got away with it.
Here's a reason. RJ, let me say this just real quick. Did this movie necessarily need to be R-rated? No. It did
Not this story.
But here's the reason why it should have been, and it's Carnage. Carnage is in the comics an R-rated character. Now they didn't go as full bore in the comics, as I understand, as they could have. But if you think about the origin of Carnage, the symbiote, and then Cletus Cassidy, the man that he is linked to, this is a bloodthirsty killer.
I get that, but I think they had a tone and a world they wanted to establish ahead of time because of the choices made at the end of this movie.
And I do understand that, but if you're going to have Carnage in this, and you really want to give the audience a sense, for those of them that have not experienced Carnage from the comics or from Maximum Carnage or anything else, you don't want to do it in theaters, fine, you don't have to. Give it to us on home video. People will buy it.
Look, Carnage didn't even seem as deadly to me as the symbiotes in the first one. Because the symbiotes in the first one, man, they just were killing everybody. They were taking people over. They were doing stuff. And it felt like there was like much more aggression in the first one than Carnage had. Carnage should have been not just going, ha, and having like the big monster, flex,
I mean, dude, like, he shoved his tongue down the guard's throat as he begged for his life and his family.
Yes. And when escaping the prison, he was murking a whole bunch of prisoners.
Those dudes. Those dudes were dead.
And then when he broke out, shrieked, he freaking was destroying cop cars and helicopters.
But
and
a lot of it though was like super quick cuts that he was blurry. That like if you actually watch
that tongue scene was not cut though. That tongue scene wasn't cut though.
No, but but that's one thing. Okay, that's one thing. I'm saying like most of that stuff though that Carnage did, you didn't even really see it. You know what I mean? And that was because it was PG-13. It was because it was PG-13. They tried to cut it so that you didn't actually see the carnage, no pun intended, that was actually happening.
Yeah.
He was just doing a bunch of stuff, and it like when I was watching that, I was like, what in the world? Like it's way too fast. Like they're doing, and he makes a tornado in the middle of the
reminded
thing.
me of Transformers 1.
Honestly, I kind of like that, but
the tornado scene I thought was kind of cool because like that seems like a comic book thing. Is it silly and ridiculous? Absolutely.
But I'll just you brought up Serkis, right? You brought up Andy Serkis, and I'll just say that Andy Serkis played Snoke, and I just want to tell you guys, if you haven't watched Squid Game yet, Squid Game, the ending actually answers like who Snoke was.
I came up with a better answer.
Have you seen Squid Game though?
No.
I don't.
If you watch it though, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you see the end of Squid Game, it looks hilarious. And I turned to Tiffany and I'm like, "Hey, look, it's Snoke." The point is Andy Serkis directed this movie. I was disappointed in Andy Serkis because I felt that Andy Serkis gave us this chopped up. At the end of the day, he's the director. Unless we hear something, we've heard absolutely nothing about any kind of thing of like it being taken out of his hands. They've touted Andy as being the guy who formed this, who crafted this. They're proud of him. He's proud of this film. He goes on and on about it. He was gushing about it. He's talking about how they've done a great job with it and everything. This is on Andy Serkis. All the chopped up stuff, that's on Andy Serkis. All the too fast to even tell what Carnage is doing stuff. You just see like bodies flying. That doesn't do anything.
To be honest, I think the first movie was worse in that that regard. Especially in the third fight. I couldn't tell what the hell was going on.
Yeah,
no, there was a whole lot more eating people, like slowly. You know what I mean? Like
slowly. Tell me when. When was there a slow scene you saw somebody eating someone in the first movie?
I'm just saying getting bit. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like just getting chopped, their heads off, you know, and everything like that.
But it happened in the second movie too.
But see, I get that.
In the same fashion.
Felt like, but DL, this movie felt like it almost felt like they didn't want Venom to eat people, not because like Eddie Brock would literally have a problem with that, because like seriously, like what would in the comics, what would Eddie Brock's problem be with that, really? You know what I mean? Like, I know that there's
again, you're comparing this.
No, they ate brains so they can
comic Venom.
I get that, but that's where
I love you guys.
Love you too, man. But that's where my love you, Tony. You're awesome, man.
Love you guys.
Bro.
See you next game, brother.
But that's my basis though for a lot of this is because I judge this not based on whatever they want to give us. I judged this on Venom, and the thing is like I felt that there was a regression even from that first one, where it was like, hey, you know what, we made all this money for the other Venom movie. If we play it a little bit safer this time and make it a little bit more friendly for the movie going public, where they don't have to see like somebody get their head bitten off left and right. Well, I will throw in the one with Venom, but he's a a CGI character that people won't relate to that well. They won't, have that connection to so much, as a human being having it happen to them. We can play it safe, and people will just accept it. And look, like kind of Tony said, like the thing is, or was it maybe his ambassador, like this is going to be the only time that some people ever see or know who Carnage is. Okay. And if that's the case, this version of Carnage was such a toned down and just kind of bland version of Carnage. And that's just,
it's bland though.
It's very bland compared. It's very bland compared because he doesn't really have a reason for anything. He doesn't have and I'm not saying he has to have like a calculated reason. I'm saying like even in his insaneness, right? Like when you watch the Joker's insane, but the Joker has a way, like a reason for what he's doing. This was just like random and just kind of like no purpose whatsoever. It's like Cletus is trying to get to his girlfriend, but Carnage like is just mad at Venom because Venom's his dad. Like
again, I think
why? Like, what was the scene? Like, there was no.
I think we're missing
why didn't they bring them
here.
together? Why didn't they bring them together at some point to have them have like some kind of fight, altercation, or whatever to set up? They're mad at each other.
Because the studio wanted the movie to be 90 minutes.
I get that, but listen, any good movie would have those characters come. They didn't even come together.
There was no time, Enosh. There was no time.
But there was, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's a flaw of the movie. I agree.
Venom literally sees Carnage for the first time at the end battle because he goes, "Ooh, he's a red one." There was no confrontation or something that Venom did to Carnage to make him mad, or Carnage to Venom, or
Carnage just wanted more power. He said that if he consumed Venom, he'd be more powerful, and that they could basically take over Earth.
Well, here's the thing. Here's another issue. Now, I actually enjoyed this part of the movie. Not that the fact that it made him feel human, or even made him feel sympathetic. But I liked the dynamic between Cletus and Shriek.
Well, that's right from the comics too. Yeah, that's right from the comics.
I
did enjoy that. But again, Enosh, I understand what you're saying with Circus having the final say. But here's the thing: he doesn't ultimately have the final say. The studio has the final say. And if he's trying to play ball with Sony and with Marvel, and give them the movie that they want, he's unfortunately going to have to compromise. And now it sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck that a director has to compromise their vision. I mean, you all and myself to a lesser extent fought for a very long time to get a true representation of a director's vision, aka Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Sure.
And I can understand. Granted, I'm not a director. Never probably will be. Well, we'll see. That's a story for another time. But I can understand Circus's dilemma here. He's trying to do what the studio wants, but he's also trying to retain at least part of his vision for this movie. And honestly, I'm going to cut him just a little bit more. Slack. Because you push a studio too hard, you're out the door. Now, granted, he could go just about anywhere else, but if he loves these characters and he loves this story and he wants to continue to do this story, then he's going to have to unfortunately play ball. Again, it all comes down to the fact that we didn't, at least I feel, and I imagine there's a lot more people out there who may support what I'm saying, I don't feel we got a full representation of the story in this movie. I think there probably may. They're again, I'm using a lot of hypotheticals and a lot of conditionals. I understand that. Yeah. There is the possibility that a longer cut of this film exists that gives us everything that we're discussing here tonight. And if that is the case, for the love of heaven, Sony, you've got money sitting on a shelf somewhere. edit it back together, copy it onto a bloody disc, Blu-ray, 4K, 7K, whatever, and give it to the public.
I'm sure there's going to be a ton
buy
of
it.
deleted scenes in the Blu-ray. I'm very curious to see when this thing gets released on Blu-ray and digital to see what kind of bonus features or deleted scenes they have, because I anticipate there might be a couple.
And that's a distinct possibility too. But I would love to, if there is a longer cut where they just integrate the deleted scenes back in, and whatever else footage was originally supposed to be in it, make it all nice and clean and pretty. Do it. It's Sony. So it's Sony. That's what Sony is primarily well, at least was until they got into movies, was a video game studio. You think it's going to be hard or difficult for them to render all the visual effects?
I thought the CGI in this movie looked better than the first one, personally.
Now, and here's the crazy thing. I haven't even seen the first one still. I have never seen the first Venom. I was kind of going into this blind, so I was a little bit unfamiliar with the whole dynamic of Eddie and Anna's story. But I will say this. I think Michelle Williams in this movie, she was actually a bright spot. I thought her portrayal as Anna, and she
was better in this movie, but I think she was probably better because she had less screen time. Because she was kind of annoying in the first one.
I honestly like Michelle Williams as an actress. She has done some films that I am a fan of. So
it's just in the first movie, I felt like she was phoning it in a little bit. That was the problem.
I will say this because I've been in situations like this in real life. The scene between her and Eddie, it's either I was on the one side of that table or I was on the other. I felt bad for Eddie, but I also felt bad for her. But you know what? She ended up with a decent guy, and even Venom said, "Take care of her." I think Venom, in his own way, had a bit of a soft spot for Anna. I think he missed Anna almost as much as Eddie did, because here's the thing about the symbiotes. They always seem to pick up on the subconscious thoughts of the host. And I think Venom was saying what Eddie either couldn't bring himself to say or wouldn't. Now I know that might be a bit of a deep dive, but honestly, that's kind of how I took it.
Let's take a quick break here so I can catch up on some of the chat here. First of all, a piece been sent in is asking RJ once again to show the design of his shirt. So this time RJ has got a shirt. Oh, look, he's got a
Loki
I like
shirt.
that shirt, dude.
It has a glorious purpose all over it.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Very nice.
RJ, where'd you get that?
RJ,
I got it from Amazon.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's from the Marvel store on Amazon.
Okay.
Toxin is in the books. I mean, so like
Toxin was that cop.
Yeah, so Toxin is there.
That's gonna be Venom 3 right there versus Toxin. So
next question: does he get back to his universe? Like, are we gonna have to wait a while?
Well,
now?
do you want to talk about the post-credit scene when we're caught up?
So we can get there in just a second. Okay. Bradley here says the rave scene was actually was really awkward and kind of weird. Was it just me? I thought it was weird. It was a weird stand. I got what they were trying to portray, that Venom feels like an outcast. Okay.
He's gay, she's gay.
No, he isn't.
No,
I know what you're doing.
I
know what you're doing, RJ. So quit acting like the fandom nuisance. You're better than that.
He's being funny. Yeah, but there's people saying that though, and it's dumb. It's literally people who have no brain.
No, I can sum it up in 2 words. Well, technically 3 words. Intellectual dead end.
There you go. So Zeno, now you got this stuck in my head. He says Venom is nothing more
Vino.
Vino.
Can we just call it Vino?
It's the Vino. No, Venom is nothing more than a modern retelling of The Odd Couple. I swear, if the third Venom movie doesn't start out with dun 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 dun.
Oh my god.
Josh here says Venom is awesome, and I like them trying to turn Venom into a good guy.
Yeah,
I'd rather see him as I would rather see him as an anti-hero.
In the second movie, though,
Nova Joe here says, RJ, take off those rose-colored glasses.
In regards
You know,
to
I
what?
just saw something. I just saw something crazy. What if they eventually do a crossover with Venom and Deadpool, and they have Venom be the killer into
the jokes?
Actually, I think that'd be actually kind of cool.
That'd be
Okay,
amazing.
sorry.
I want to see Deadpool and Venom together. That'd be great.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Blake here says, got to be careful with these director's cuts. It's not needed for everything. That's true too.
Yes, that
Real
is
Elmo
true.
Cinema says Carnage has a bloodlust. Absolutely. Let's see here. Well, AMBW channel says Carnage is Marvel's Joker.
He doesn't need to be R, man.
I don't know if Carnage is the Joker, because I don't think, I mean, because look,
No.
Joker is a totally different kind of villain. He's very meticulated. Like, if you're saying just because of like the things surrounding him, like what he does, yeah, but I wouldn't say that he's Marvel's Joker.
No.
I don't know. I don't know who I would say is like Marvel's version of the
Joker is Joker. There's no other character like him.
Joker is
Joker is unique. Joker is August. He is unto himself.
Yeah. Todd Fay here with the $10 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says DC did have a multiverse plan, but they messed it up, and then Marvel did its multiverse, and it is turning out to be gold because of the genius of Kevin Feige.
This is one of the times I'll say Todd Fayer's not wrong.
Well, but how do we know that? Hold on. DC had a multiverse plan, but they messed it up. How do we know that they messed it up? Because they haven't presented it yet.
I think they messed up from the jump because it's way too early to do it because their core universe is not even strongly established yet because they only have. I'm just saying, where the hell is Man of Steel 2?
I'll give you that.
All this stuff.
But
I'm just saying.
But this is the Flash from at least one of the Justice League movies. Don't know which one, but
probably the bad one that we don't like talking about.
It might be, but then there's also talk that it might not be as well. And the thing is like, how many movies now are we into this? And this was Zack Snyder's own idea of post his, films that somebody would come along and make a Flash movie. I get that. We're 2 movies short of his films. Yes. Okay. And I understand that, and I totally appreciate that. I mean, of all people, I appreciate that. But the thing is that, like, I just don't know that we can say that the multiverse plan has messed it up, because we don't know yet. Look, that Flash movie could be an absolute, like,
I think what I'll say is, like, from the way it's being presented and the way it's been marketed to us thus far, it feels like a corporate business move rather than a creative venture.
I agree with that.
To explain why they don't want to do the Snyderverse.
I agree with all of that. I agree with all of that. But I'm hoping, right? This is me with some hope that because it's got Ben in it, Ben had a positive experience, because Michael Keaton, who's a cynic of everything, actually came back to do it and sees some value in it. And like, he's actually been excited recently talking about being Batman again and having stepped back into the role and put on the costume again.
No, we're talking about Batman though, not Flash.
I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like there seems to be this ongoing, like, positivity from the people who are in the film, is what I'm saying. And so, and of all people, Michael Keaton is very cynical. Okay. So, Michael Keaton has seemed to embrace this and been cool with this. And the fact that Michael Keaton did it, and we don't, that, Tim Burton had any involvement in this.
That's true.
Is he producing or co-producing anything?
I don't think
so.
I don't think he's involved whatsoever.
Because I know there was a time where he said he would never step into the Batman role again if Tim Burton wasn't involved. So, so I don't know. I know things change. Money talks, and I get all that. What I'm saying is like I said, the Flash movie could be an absolute dumpster fire. It could be the worst thing that ever happened to DC. It could literally put a nail in
And
his
I'm
coffin.
sure if it is, you'll be the first to say so.
I will be. Because, look, I've been critical of DC movies in the past. There are plenty of DC movies that I think are just absolute garbage and worthless. But, I want to give it a chance to prove itself. I wouldn't say that DC did have a multiverse plan, because they currently have a multiverse plan that they haven't even seen come to the silver screen yet. And so we can't really say they messed it up. But Marvel is doing its multiverse, and
the
it
problem
is turning out to be
that
gold.
they got here first, which is always a problem. When you get there first, it's always what's on the mind of the audience.
Half of the DC stuff wouldn't have been looked at as critically as it was if it wasn't for the fact that Marvel was doing so well with their you wouldn't have these talks. Like if Zack Snyder had come along like before, like if the tables had turned, for example, same movies, just different times, and like Zack Snyder comes out with a Superman movie, Man of Steel, for example. Okay,
Yeah,
I get it.
They did this entire thing in like 2005 or something.
Right, because you know what? During 2005, the type of Superman that all the fans were clamoring for was the Man of Steel. Like that was what everybody wanted. People wanted a more rooted and grounded Superman that was rooted in reality, that had issues and had problems that he had to deal with. The problem is that Marvel came along. They presented, they did what they did well. They presented a lighter side of superheroes, but in a good way.
Still grounded in some way, though.
Yeah, it was still grounded in some way. That first Iron Man movie is amazing. But the thing is, they presented these characters very, very well, but with bright colors, with bright things. But it wasn't cheesy like Batman and Robin. Okay, it wasn't as heavy as the Dark Knight trilogy, but it wasn't as cheesy as Batman and Robin and some of that older stuff, right? Or like Steel, with Shaquille O'Neal or some of that dumb stuff. Like
Steel's
it wasn't
hilarious,
that.
by the way. That movie's so bad, it's hilarious.
But it wasn't that though. You know what I mean? And it wasn't as bland as Superman Returns. It was just good. And so the thing is though, is now it doesn't matter what DC does because Marvel won their audience over. It's looked at as you got to like one or the other. Now the diehard fans, they like it all. Okay, the diehard fans, they like comic books, they like comic book heroes.
But it's the average Joe, it's the normal.
But the average Joe that goes to the theater thinks, well, I like Marvel, DC sucks, because it's always like, right, I'm a Michigan fan, so Ohio State sucks, or Michigan State sucks.
Does the average person get involved in that though?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the other side sucks.
Oh yeah. Because it's always about being on a team, dude. It's always about being on a team.
Isn't it more so like they just want to be like, I just want to be entertained, see a good movie. I don't care what.
No, I wish that was the case. We wish that was the case.
Dude, there's too many bad movies that people love and support. They get. No, it's not about that. It's absolute. When it comes to Marvel and DC, it's absolutely about being on a team. Marvel is looked at as the team that is winning, that is doing well. They're champions. They've won the championship a few times in a row now. And so, look, people act like they have to be, that they want to be on the winning team. It's much harder to be a DC fan because you actually have to, like, anytime I say I'm a DC fan, I feel like I have to open up a book and like explain, like I'm arguing a court case every time, like that, Your Honor, let me break down and explain to you, because people are just like, why? I'm a Marvel fan. Somebody who's never read a comic doesn't know any of the history of it, but you know what? They know that they like Captain America and they like Thor and they like, Iron Man and all this stuff because they've watched the movies, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine to be introduced to them in that way. Look, I was introduced to DC characters through Super Friends and the Superman movies and and that kind of stuff. So, before I ever read a comic book as a kid. So that's all fine. But like I said, I'd stop short of saying that DC's plan has messed up because we just don't know what it is. We don't know what this Flash movie is. That's kind of the beauty of it right now. We don't know what's going to be in that film, right? We're getting right into the meat of the Marvel multiverse, and it's good. They're doing a good job with it. So like you said, RJ, that's the problem too. Is they got there first, and so now anything
they're going to be there way ahead, because remember, Flash is not coming out until after Doctor Strange 2.
But mind you, the Flash was supposed to come out years ago.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Remember, it wasn't going to be a multiverse movie though. Remember that? It's changed so much.
But they've been talking about doing it as a Flashpoint style film, which I know Flashpoint is a little bit different than multiverse, like that, but like.
Well, it was supposed to come out in 2017?
Yeah, so
Jeez,
I'm just saying, that's that's a
5-year delay. 5-year delay.
Yeah, that's going to hurt them, That's definitely going to hurt them. And so so I don't know, but I hear you. So we just got to, so there's that. Okay, let me see. I'm catching up here, seeing the Dork Knight here says the movie needed the violence to feel real, like how, and I hate to have to say the same way that Zack Snyder's Justice League had violence that felt real. Then Steppenwolf, when Steppenwolf throws the Atlantean into the rock, you see the blood. There is a good point for that. It's like actually feeling like those kills are real. That like they're not just like afterthought extras. Getting killed. McLovin here says alternate universe Venom movie directed by Zach.
Oh boy.
Josh here says, "Oh come on, Carnage was great."
Hey, I loved how they incorporated his backstory with him killing his family members, like pushing his grandma down the stairs.
Okay,
that's right from the comics.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a point. Here's a point though. How can Venom draw like a dang artist, but can't even crack an egg?
How the hell does Carnage know how to hack into a computer using a symbiote? It doesn't make sense. It's weird. It's weird stuff for the sake of moving the plot forward and just being funny, which it's cheesy. It's purposely cheesy and weird.
Yeah. Bradley says that's a cool shirt. So RJ.
Yeah, I got a couple of them actually. I got a new WandaVision t-shirt. I got a couple other ones. I got a Miss Minutes t-shirt too. I really like.
Cool. Steven here. What's up, Steven Moten? Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Says the support of this movie has the hilarious excuses that Captain Marvel had.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, see, the difference with that is that Captain Marvel was bland. The character was bland.
Which I blame entirely on the directors, by the way. There's a reason they're not coming back for the sequel.
Yeah, I know. Brie Larson, award-winning actress, blah, 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 blah. I get that. But just like... But yeah, it's not the same thing with Venom and Captain Marvel. It's not.
Okay, so here's an interesting question. I'm interested to hear. Okay, the symbiote can take over from outside, inside, like whatever, right? I mean, like that was kind of the point. Like that's how actually Carnage comes to be in this film. Is that part of it is that Venom bites him, but then he's licking the blood and it shows the blood and everything. That the symbiote's in it. So Venom ate Carnage. So
that's how I think he could possibly come back. He could probably take over.
Yeah,
Venom's,
he's still part of it. Yeah,
Venom symbiote, and
maybe he hides out for a while.
Maybe, or he tries to take over Venom's symbiote and becomes the ultimate symbiote.
What they could potentially do is maybe this is a huge maybe. If Carnage is still inside of Venom, let's say he teleports back to his, we'll get into that. He teleports back to his own universe, and let's say they put him back right where he was in that church scene. Maybe Carnage jumps out again and heals Cletus's body, so he never died. I mean, they could listen. These movies are already weird enough and crazy as they are. Anything's possible. They're gonna bring back Carnage. They're going to. How they do it, I just don't know. But that was the one mistake I think the movie made. I don't think they should have killed off Carnage. I think that was stupid.
I was 100%.
But I do think that's an interesting. This is a great point though by Kenyatta, because I really feel like that could actually be something then. Yeah, just because you bit off what looks like a symbiote's head doesn't mean that's the entire.
Yeah, you just ate him. He's just inside you now.
Yeah. Anthony Grisby says, Enosh, do you think Andy Serkis could deliver a director's cut? I don't think we're going to get one at this point. I think that they're just going to let it ride.
They're supportive of the movie. Look, the movie, everyone seemed like majority of the audience is walking away liking it. It's making a lot of money. They're happy with this version of the movie.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple comments from Kenneth and Big Dub about how they were introduced, through shows and stuff like that, and that's not necessarily, reading comics and that's fine. Kenneth here asking us, what are your expectations for DC fandom? I'm keeping them low. I'm keeping them really low.
Come on, it's gonna be fun, man. Get the energy up, dude.
Did a couple of trailers, and that's it.
The Batman
take the glasses off.
Yeah, that's one of the trailers, and that's it.
Yeah, that's. DL's right.
You're not excited for the Black Adam stuff? They showed the new footage, man.
Batman,
the
Black
new
Adam,
footage.
Flash.
They showed the shot of the Rock, man. It was something.
Trailer. We need a trailer. I'm done with the footage. BS.
Literally, that could have been taken off of Rock's intro from WWE. Literally, that's not new footage.
Hey, more's coming though. More's coming.
It's probably not even from the trailer. It's probably like from his introduction, or like for the pre-recorded crap that he's going to do at Fandom.
If we don't get a trailer for Black Adam and or the Flash, it's a letdown.
They told you you're not getting a Flash trailer. You're only getting behind the scenes featurette.
It's already taken the L. What else other than Batman and Black Adam? What are people gonna give a shit about unless they
The
announce
video games, Fortnite, Batman crossover. That's something.
You kidding me, RJ? You kidding me?
Aquaman, maybe.
They're not gonna
Hey,
show that
you're
much
gonna
of
get a
Aquaman.
Peacemaker trailer. You're gonna get a Peacemaker trailer.
Oh, great! Oh, wow!
They're probably gonna announce Blue Beetle, Batgirl,
Oh, you mean
and
the
Zatanna
thing where
officially.
you mean the thing where they showed Peacemaker shooting from his crotch?
What was wrong with that? I'm asking genuinely, what's the issue with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like
That's how you promote your event.
It's
it's crotch shooting cool.
Do you like the? Wait, have you seen the vigilante costume though? Do you like it? It looks cool. I like the costume design for vigilante.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
something.
cool.
It's something.
Looks cool.
It's something. You know.
Bradley
Can I get a
says
Green
Black-
Lantern announcement? Where's
right. That's been in production for been in development hell for 2 years now. What the heck? Bradley here says Black Adam meets Superman and says, "What's your name?" It doesn't matter what your name is.
What your name is?
Right? Yeah. I'm not. I'm just.
Hey,
not.
maybe the haircut. Maybe the haircut. You never know. It's
That's
4
probably
hours.
will be the
of...
saving grace, even though it's probably not going to happen. But that'll
That
probably
would-
be the one saving grace of fandom is if they announce the haircut.
What if they announce
but
a
I would-
Zatanna movie or Nightwing or I don't know. That Red Hood movie Enosh is super excited
No,
for.
oh fuck, no Red Hood movie, no. You don't even have a foundation for Batman. It doesn't make sense.
Listen, no, they're gonna announce that Ben Affleck will be there, but you're not. It's gonna be like Shazam cameo. They never show his face. You just see him from the bottom up. They'll keep doing that for every appearance he's in.
Stop. Just
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the fever dreams of RJ.
I'm just saying, man. Anything.
RJ, how are you feeling, buddy? Are you sick?
We were
are
just
you
on the
okay?
same team. Now I got to go heal on you. No, bro.
I'm just saying, positive attitude will win in the end.
I will try my best. But who chatted that a few seconds ago? My expectations are really low right now. So I don't know.
All I care about is the Batman trailer. Anything else is the cherry on top of these Sunday.
You are excited for that Batman trailer?
So let me get this straight. Let me
need.
get this straight. Your entire existence and your entire happiness about fandom is all based around getting the Batman trailer.
Yep, that's all I need.
Why do you need fandom for that?
Because there could be an announcement in between that I don't know about ahead of time that I might.
No. You just said that your entire basis for your excitement is the Batman trailer. Why do you need fandom for that?
Because I can watch it live as it premieres, so I don't get it spoiled on Twitter or something. I don't know.
You don't know. You got no answer for that.
So if the Batman trailer premiered tomorrow,
no, you know how when a trailer, a trailer drops on social media and everyone
I wanted to watch it at fandom.
It makes it more special though, because you're watching it live with everyone else reacting at the same time.
By the way,
I get that. But
by the way, it's not live.
It'll be live though. Everyone's gonna watch at the same time though.
Look at us in this giant green screen room. I can put on my own fandom. I'm just gonna cover this wall in green.
You watched the fandom stuff live. Wasn't that a fun experience sitting around?
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was absolutely boring last year.
Not even watching the Batman trailer live.
Dude, I didn't watch half of it. We
Really,
watched the Batman trailer. I happened to get the Batman trailer and the Suicide Squad thing. The only thing that was cool about that was I just happened to be live at the same time and we talked about it. And then I got a copyright strike and had to take down the actual or copyright claim actually and had to take down the actual video of us watching it. So that took away all that. So what was the point of watching it live? And honestly, I watched here and there throughout that day, but there was nothing that was said that day that I couldn't have seen later.
But this time they're getting rid of the bad stuff. It's only gonna be 4 hours. No more stupid party games or bad panels. At least it'll just be 4 hours of announcements and maybe a couple bad panels.
You believe that?
That's what they said. It's what they said. They said it's going to be 4 hours and nothing but announcements and discussions about the actual movies this time, not about the stupid fluffy stuff.
You're listening to RJ believing Warner Brothers and DC about everything that fandom's going to be.
I don't believe them 100%. I'm just saying that's what they're saying. I'm hopeful that they're right. I don't know though.
Really, last year's fandom highlights was Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer and the Batman trailer. If this one can't get us more excited, other than two possible trailers, no.
Not even the video game stuff though.
But they're not probably not going to give us anything that we don't already know.
It's like, okay,
Suicide Squad.
Oh, by the way, that Batman trailer is said to just be the trailer that we were given last year with like a couple of extra little things in it. It's almost the exact. I am not lying. I am watch Ping Pong Flicks. He like literally talked about it just today. It's almost the exact same runtime. It's only a little different, and that is the rumor right now that it's almost the exact same trailer.
There's no way.
Just a little bit.
They cannot do that. If they do that, the backlash would be huge. The backlash would be huge. There's no way that that's
How is the backlash going to be huge? Like nobody's going to care, dude. Because half people look. I'm excited for the Batman. I want to see it. But am I frothing at the mouth for the Batman? No.
That's what I'm saying. You can't show the same trailer again.
Okay, but what I'm saying is though. Yeah, but here's the thing, dude. Like, okay, I'm gonna go see it. I care about it because I love Batman, and it's probably gonna be really good. Okay, but is this like exciting to me? Like I've anticipated other movies in the past. Like, is this like an anticipation movie? And I get it that there are other people. I don't want to discredit anybody else who has that. It's their anticipation. But the reality is, I don't think that this movie is like having people frothing at the mouth, just like hoping and praying and waiting for like the next little morsel to drop on the Batman movie. Even people, yeah.
I mean, I'm with you because I'm not super excited about the Batman either. But I think you're underestimating how much excitement there is. Because
I'm
when
sure
I look on
there
the
are.
internet on trailer reactions to that
huge.
trailer, everyone is losing their mind over this. So if they showed the exact same thing at fandom with just a couple of footage stuff, I think people would be disappointed.
There'd be outrage. The whole event would be seen as a failure. Like they cannot afford to do something like that.
Well, there
because
you go.
Keep in mind, like when that trailer was released in the last year's fandom, like the release date was earlier before they pushed it back, right? And
yeah, so it was 2021.
And there was a lot of time in between that time for them to do more filming and post production and stuff like that. So we're assuming that they have more to show us.
Was only from like 2 months of filming. Like it was a super early trailer they cut.
Right. So we're assuming that they have more to show us regarding Penguin, Catwoman, Riddler, more of Batman.
Well, they already showed it to us. They showed us Catwoman fighting Batman.
But not in their final costume.
I guarantee you that some of that stuff is like going to be what's in the trailer. I mean, because they're not going to show us much more. They're not going to give you like this whole thing of like it's a lot more. They're just going to tease you a little bit because to them a whole year has passed, but they've had no forward momentum because this movie was already supposed to be out. So for them, they're still in tease mode, dude. I mean, when does the Batman come out?
March.
When does it come out? March. It comes out in March.
So yeah,
th're in tease
like 5
mode.
months.
This is like the tease mode right here where you would usually make the first teaser to get people interested. So they're not going to drop a full-on trailer, dude. This movie won't even
to. It's not like we're waiting a whole
or you know what it'll be? It'll be, and I said this and I'm still trying to find anybody else who saw this. We went to the movies. What movie was it that we saw? Because I told you guys and you guys were like,
Shang-Chi?
What? No, it wasn't Shang-Chi.
Free Guy.
Yeah, Free Guy. When we went to go see Free Guy, there was a new trailer for the Batman that I had not seen before. And then nobody talked about it. And it had new footage that we had not seen. It was not that trailer from Fandom last year, and it was not a trailer that I had seen. It was something new with more footage of the Riddler, footage of Catwoman, and other things. And I was like, nobody's talking about it, and I have not seen it anywhere else. So I don't know if it like got attached. I don't know what happened there. But
I wish you would have recorded it because I would have wanted to see it.
Well, I did. I just.
I know.
Plus, I'm in the theater. I'm not going to record it. But the thing is like seriously, like I have no idea. I mean, and all I have is my word to tell you that me and my family sat there. We watched a different Batman trailer because I looked at Tiffany and I said, "That's not the trailer that came out with Venom." And Isaac looked over at me and goes, Yeah, that was different. Like, and nobody talked about it after this.
What if you're like what if you're the only theater in the entire country that had that trailer show? So that's why you didn't hear anything about it.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it got
because it's that specific showing at the specific time of day.
I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird. But anyways, okay. So we're all caught. So DC fandom, we got all. DC takes it over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's back to the Venom thing. So let's talk about
the post-credit scene.
Post-credit. So
what was your reaction to that, Enosh?
I felt it was different because I thought it was weird how they went into it. That like all of a sudden they're just kind of sitting there, and then all of a sudden poof, they're in. I mean, I get what's probably happened there. It's probably the moment that Doctor Strange does his thing, and and everything, the fabric of the multiverse starts to fall apart or whatever. I'm gonna be interested to see how they're actually bringing all these characters, like how they all ended up there, from the multiverse. You know what I mean? Like, what is it about that like opened up just these other places for them to come to? But
was your theater losing their minds, by the way?
No.
Oh, really?
Half the people had already walked out. Here's what I will never understand. And if you're one of these people, please tell me in the chat right now. How do you go to a superhero movie these days and you don't stay until the credits are done?
I can understand some people leaving after the mid-credits and not staying to the very, very end when the lights come up, but the mid-credits, bro.
Dude, the second the film ended and the mid-credits came up and the music popped up, and that, they always show that these like artsy music video things.
The mid-credits, like the actors' names, the director,
stuff like that, right? And it's always like some artsy thing that like shows like artist representations of like what happened in the film or something. Now it's like they're all the same now. They're all the same. DC and Marvel. It's all that. But
Last Man Standing.
Yeah. So as soon as that started, dude, half of my audience literally got up and walked out.
Casual moviegoers.
I get mad now. I literally get angry when I see that happen because I'm like,
I get annoyed. Yeah.
Dude, what is wrong with you people?
Dude, there are casual moviegoers that live under a rock still,
or they just don't care.
Or they just don't care.
Yeah. Well, I went opening night, so I was with like a crowd of hardcore fans. So everyone stayed. Everyone stayed in their seats, and it went nuts. The place got super loud when that scene popped up. But that's just so strange to me. People get up and leave, man. I will never understand that. I'm like, this is a Marvel movie, right? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'll find it on the internet.
Right? Yeah, I mean, but like they all got up and left, and the scene itself was fine. I was a little disappointed because I had heard that because I had actually kind of been spoiled for it, so I knew.
Oh, so you kind of already knew ahead of time.
I knew that it was coming, but I was kind of disappointed that like what the spoilers were saying, like he doesn't actually say, because they had said that like he licked the screen and he said, "Looks tasty" or something like that. And that's not what he said. He said
this guy.
This guy. And then it was kind of done. I didn't feel that there was enough. Look, it's the problem that I have with Marvel movies. Every time it feels like they try to give me something that gets my attention, they distract from it right away. They never let anything just kind of hang for a second. Like, look, and maybe it's because of I worked for FedEx for years and I was in sales training. And one of the things that they taught us was when you were having a conversation and you wanted to convey something and you wanted something from the other person, you wanted a reaction from the other person, that you were trying to sell something to, right? That you would state something, and we always feel the need to fill space, right? If we ask, if we ask a question and things get awkward, we start talking, right? Because we feel like we're gonna do that. But when you do that, you give away leverage, because you have to understand that the other person also feels an awkwardness, and so it's important for you to let them break that instead of you, because that's where you get information, right? That can help your cause or your ability to understand their pain and their issue that they need the product or service that you're offering, or just even in a discussion or an argument or a debate or whatever. That's how you trade that information, by not feeling like you have to fill every moment of silence, because people hate silence. But Marvel movies never give you that. They never give you a rest. It was literally like, hey, here's Spider-Man, naked dude in a towel.
Yeah,
joke.
No, I
joke
will argue,
right away.
I will
joke
argue though.
Right away.
Yeah, I will argue though, like I don't see them doing that like in the mid credits scenes of MCU movies. I think the end credit and the post credit scenes, like the stinger when the credits are over, then they give you a jokey one or whatever, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I agree with you. In the movies, like you would have like a really serious scene that's earnest and there's emotions, like really nice exchange between two characters. They're connecting, and so yeah, we just let the scene breathe, and then they have to interrupt it with a punchline or a joke.
Well, thankfully they've been kind of moving away from that. Like for example, Shang-Chi, there was no joke end credits, which I appreciated. Both of them were very serious and like took something for the future. With the Venom one, I can agree with that. I think it's trying to like make a joke. It's like, oh, he's in this guy's hotel room on the beach.
Yeah, I'm not saying the joke was bad.
It's just that I think I would have cut it. I think I would sort of cut it.
That dude Vince here says that naked guy in the towel signified that he went to the multiverse. Yeah, I get all that. I don't have a problem with the joke, okay, and with the naked guy coming out because now you're in his room, right? Like I get that. The problem that I had was it was too abrupt. It was like you didn't.
It didn't let the Spider-Man thing sit for too long.
Yeah, it didn't let the Spider-Man thing and the fact that he was there now actually sink in for a second. It literally went right to the joke. Bam. Like, it was like
I can see that where it feels like the joke is more important.
Yeah, RJ, you just hit it right there. It made it feel like the joke was more important than the actual like reveal, so
no, I can understand that. I mean, but like in terms of the ramifications of it, like does it excite you at all, or because you didn't like the movie that you just saw, it didn't matter?
Oh no, that was the best part of the experience for me, and it made me feel like it almost made me feel like they were so intent on making that happen that that they rushed to get into it.
Yeah, can I give a hot take?
Yeah.
This is going to be a really, really big hot take. RJ, you probably already know because we already talked about this on stream. I did not care for this mid-credit scene. And I knew what was going to happen, and not because I got spoiled beforehand. It's because this mid-credit scene is the most calculated, predictable mid-credit scene I've ever seen.
There's nowhere else for the character to go.
Right. We knew from the get-go this was their plan. They wanted Spider-Man and Venom to meet up at some point. And since the multiverse is already
about it for months.
Right. And since the multiverse is already established, bam, yeah, they could instantly do that. And then as far as Venom and Spider-Man possibly teaming up at some point or whatever, fighting, I don't know. I really don't care to see it. It just feels like a novelty act. And it just feels really odd. On top of the fact that I want to be more excited for No Way Home, but I'm not. It just.
Oh man, that's my most anticipated movie the rest of the year, man.
It's everyone's most anticipated movie, and if it is, that's great. But I just feel like there's just too much going on with the movie regarding the multiverse and possibly Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire coming back. When
it's gonna be great.
We've talked about this many times before. I know we don't agree on this, but it's just we haven't spent enough time with Tom Holland's Spider-Man as a character on his own.
He's been in like 4 movies,
and I still don't really feel for. I still don't really get him fully as a character. He feels like a caricature of Spider-Man. I enjoy him. I think he's good. I'm entertained by him, but I don't feel like his character is fleshed out as it should be. Comparing it to Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's, they feel more fleshed out as characters than Tom Holland does. And I know people are going to be like, "Oh, it's unfair because this is the same thing people complained about Man of Steel and his development was all over the place as well." No, that's different because from the get-go, they to me anyway. I know people don't agree. People don't like Man of Steel, but that's fine. From the get-go, they kept the essence of what Superman is. And that was an origin story. So, and I felt like by the time we got to Zack Snyder's Justice League, we started to see the Superman we know and love. But Spider-Man, he still feels lost in the shuffle, especially when he's in Avengers movies, And it's like it's really weird because Is Ambassador snoring?
I think Ambassador fell asleep.
Uh-oh. I was wondering why, because
Nope, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Nope, I'm still here.
Okay.
That was
That was weird because we heard
strange.
like a noise going on and whatever. Okay.
No, I'm just listening. I'm still here.
Okay. But
It's okay.
But yes. But anyway, Spider-Man just feels so inconsequential when it comes to the MCU, and it's just really weird that people were so eager to get him in the MCU, but he doesn't really leave that much of a print on the MCU in general. And then when he has his own movies, he has to be contractually obligated to interact with Avengers characters, and they almost take over the film that he's already in. So it's just I don't know. It's just really frustrating.
Sony mandate, by the way.
I know Sony
Sony
mandate, which fuck them for that. So, but like, and now we're doing this multiverse Sinister Six when he hasn't even interacted with these villains in his own universe. So you're already ruining the buildup of a authentic Sinister Six when you're already doing this.
From what I understand, it's really more like a Sinister 3.
Okay, Zeno, what exactly do you agree with me on?
Because you were snoring. Because you were snoring. That's what you say. Because you usually snore. I agree with Ambassador.
I was not snoring.
We say we've lost it. We were putting it into sleep. Okay.
No.
Here's my question. What do you guys think of this? This article came out, and I wanted to actually do a whole video about this earlier in the week, but I knew it had to be left for this kind of stream, right? Venom 2 almost included Spider-Man in the movie. And this is legit. This is not like a rumor or whatever. This is absolutely legit. Venom Let There Be Carnage director Andy Serkis reveals the movie almost included Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the film's main story. Tom Holland's Spider-Man was originally part of Venom Let There Be Carnage story, according to Andy Serkis. Sony had hopes of making a Spider-Man cinematic universe for years, and 2018's Venom proved to be the launching point. It was announced for a sequel, blah, 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 blah. The biggest question has lingered over whether or not Tom Holland's Spider-Man from the Marvel Cinematic Universe will cross over. Thanks to the deal, they're going to share it or whatever. Let me get to the part though with Andy Serkis. Okay, yeah, this is what they're saying. So it says Venom 2 director Andy Serkis spoke to The Hollywood Reporter in spoilery detail about his Marvel movie, and this included him being asked about the film's game-changing final tease. It was during the interview that Serkis mentioned that the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credits scene was in flux throughout development and production. He even revealed that there was a point when Tom Holland's Spider-Man was meant to appear in Venom 2 in some capacity. It says the mid-credits scene was 100% in flux. Yeah, it couldn't have been more in fluxy if you tried. Yeah, of course, it was something that they talked about from before I even came onto the movie. There were moments where Spider-Man, was going to be in the story, potentially, and then he wasn't. But no, we decided that we wanted to really examine the Venom verse first. So as we were going through principal photography, the inevitable discussions had to be had. But it wasn't until very, very late on that we reached the precise notion, of the teaser that we wanted to lay in there. So
it doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
No, but I'm sitting here thinking to myself, man, that would have been an amazing thing.
How do you make it make sense, though?
That's the thing. I don't think it would have been amazing because Spider-Man still doesn't create Venom. So what's really the point?
Yeah, what would his involvement even be?
Well, I think you bring him into that universe somehow, just like you brought Venom out or whatever, and then you have a thing at the end that takes them all back into Spider-Man's, universe.
But right? How involved would he be? Like, what would he be doing there? Because again, I think to DL's point, it's like Venom's already not involved with Spider-Man to begin with. So if you throw him in there, like, what is he?
Yeah, but if you're gonna cross him over anyways, you can write a way for Tom Holland to end up in that universe and to interact with them and stuff, and then like have some kind of connection. Like you said, like Ambassador said earlier, Ambassador hit upon it. Like you could have it that like somewhere in the past, this the old Venom is still somehow connected to this Venom, and that Venom still feels it.
And I'm sorry, Ambassador. Even though that's a really interesting theory, it's very complex, but we really don't need that because we're already getting multiversal Doc Ock, multiversal Green Goblins, multiversal Electros. It's going to just make things even more confusing, adding multiversal Venoms from other movies.
Is it going to make it confusing though?
I mean, we'll probably understand it, but like casual moviegoers are probably gonna be like, "What
but the multiverse concept's
on?
already been introduced in What If?"
Yeah, but
Loki.
Go ahead, RJ. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Honestly, DL, I think not just ourselves as comic book geeks, but I think the general public is fairly capable of picking up on the whole multiverse concept. I mean, for heaven's sakes, my wife, who isn't even remotely a comic book fan, I kind of made her one. She understands the whole dynamic and concept. Now, she might have the occasional question for me, or another person may have a question about the whole concept of how the multiverse functions in particular ways. But honestly, it is honestly not that hard. With all due respect to you, DL.
I get it. It just really.
I'm not trying to beat up on you or anything here, but the multiverse. The multiverse is honestly a fairly straightforward concept. You got multiple universes I mean, for heaven's sakes, the intro to What If, I think, explains the whole concept of the multiverse very nicely.
Yeah,
think about it.
I think people could grasp onto it very easily as well. I don't think
here's what I'll ask you,
if you just introduce it right.
Well, here's what I'll ask you, because remember me and William and Em, that debate going on for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. Were you surprised that it was Venom getting pulled into the MCU versus Spider-Man getting pulled into his world?
Yes. Yes, I was. I'll be honest with you. Yes, I was.
I was expecting more of the other, honestly.
Everybody was expecting more of the other. That's what makes it so fascinating.
Hold on. Wait.
People are expecting Spider-Man to get pulled into the Venom universe versus Venom getting pulled into the MCU.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I fully expected Spider-Man to get pulled into the Venom verse. I didn't expect Venom to get pulled into the MCU.
Well, here's the thing too. Obviously, this takes place when Doctor Strange does his spell to rectify the whole issue that Peter has. And I think the way the post credits scene or the mid credits scene played out gives us an indication of exactly how that spell is going to function. It isn't going to necessarily remove anyone from Peter's known universe or the universe that him and Steven and everybody else occupies. It's going to bring others into theirs. Hence why the trailer that we saw for No Way Home is structured the way it is. When Strange casts his spell, and Strange is strange, there's no Mephisto. Sorry, just don't.
Stop with the Mephisto.
You never know.
Yeah, stop with the Mephisto already. Not everybody is.
I can't wait to see your nerd tears when it turns out he's not.
Or it could be Strange Supreme from What If. You never know.
That's a possibility.
It's Marvel. You never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
But the way Strange's spell functions, it accidentally brings others in because Peter doesn't know when to shut up. So that's why we see Doc Ock at the end of the trailer. That's why we hear the Green Goblins cackle. And that's why we'll see, at least if the theories are hold true, that Venom and Eddie Brock are now in this Peter Parker's universe, as well as if all the other rumors are true, that Toby and Andrew are in this film.
Mm. Well, it's not even just that. I think Gavin Cooley points out too. They're making references to the hive mind stuff with the symbiote. They're referencing Null. Like, if they bring Null into the Venom movies, that'd be amazing.
I honestly don't know who Null is.
Please do the King in Black.
I'll have to do some homework.
Please do the King in Black, because if Venom's in the MCU now, they can totally do the Planet of the Symbiotes and the King in Black storyline. And if they do that, it's going to be amazing.
But like that's the question too. Is like because Venom's there, that doesn't necessarily mean that all that other stuff is there though. Because because does Venom just exist in the Venomverse?
Well, that's the question. Is he staying there permanently or what?
Well, and Tom Holland's. I mean, that's kind of what DL brought up earlier, right? Is like so far all we've seen in Tom Holland's universe as far as Spider-Man villains are Mysterio and Vulture, right? So what about the Harry Osborn of Tom Holland's world? If we see Harry Osborn from the other Spider-Man universe in there, so we're probably not going to get a Tom Holland version of that character.
Not necessarily.
But it's not. What I'm saying is, it's not going to be as effective though. If you bring back Willem Dafoe, look, where's H. Bart's and Elmo when we need him, right? If you bring back Willem Dafoe is going to outshine anybody. If you bring him back and don't leave him back in the past of Spider-Man, and you bring him back currently again as the Green Goblin, it's over for whoever they cast eventually as Harry Osborn. You bring Molina back as Doc Ock. Did you try to introduce another Doc Ock in that world? It's gonna fail in comparison because the nostalgia factor is going to win over everybody for that other stuff. You are not going to be able to introduce proper characters for Tom Holland going forward. Just like DL said, you're not going to be able to do it and have it be as effective as if you
I think you absolutely could. If, again, it's going to be a one-time thing, though. We're acting as if they're going to be sticking around forever.
It doesn't matter. You show them it's done. Because now
they will live under the shadow of the older
because there's no personal connection to those villains, right? So
that's the point.
I know, but like, what if? Okay, let me propose a what if question. He sees these villains. He's like, "Who the heck are these people? Let me go seek out. Is there an Otto Octavius in my universe?" And they could do a complete different version that could work just as well, if not better.
Who is going to always live in the shadow now of Molina because they brought him back from 15
whatever
years
actor
ago.
Was going to play the next Doc Ock was always going to live in that shadow anyway.
But it's different. No, not when you place him in the Marvel. Not when you place Molina in the Marvel universe like that for a movie, because now you're not just dealing with an old incarnation. That's like saying, well, because it's the same problem that the Flash is going to have, right? Is that if they were trying to introduce, say, I don't know. I mean, who God only knows who we're gonna have here. Okay, but say you got you got like the Joker, right? You got what's his name, Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker back in '89, right? And we didn't have any other Jokers, right? There were no other Jokers. There was no Jared Leto. There was no Heath Ledger. There was no nothing. And so, man, that was a quintessential. He's back there. People are always going to reference him. Right? People are always, Heath Ledger won the role over, so people are always going to reference Heath Ledger, right? But can you imagine if Heath Ledger had lived, okay, and knocked that performance out of the park, and then in the Flash movie, they brought in Heath Ledger as one of the villains to come and fight one of the Batmans or whatever in that world, and then they tried to introduce like the next movie a new Joker. Now it's fresh. You're saying that Heath Ledger's Joker did exist in this world. He was here. He fought this Batman right here and now. Now, here's another Joker to fight that same Batman. That doesn't work, man, because you made it fresh in the minds of people again. You've made it real to them. It's not just in another movie. It's not even like comparing somebody else who played the role. It's saying these people are in the same movie. And it's like, and now that villain has to live in the shadow of it. It's a little different, like when you have like Michael Keaton Batman and Ben Affleck Batman, because people are going to think, hey, that's cool to see two of our heroes on film together, right? But if you were trying to introduce a new Batman, in that movie too. Can you imagine trying to introduce a new Batman in the middle of the Flash movie where you got Michael Keaton, who is the epitome of Batman to a whole generation, Ben Affleck, who has won people over in his role of Batman, and some people feel is the great. Both of those people have been deemed at one point the best Batman ever. Okay, then you try to in that same movie go, and hey DCEU, here's your new Batman. Here's Ambassador as Batman.
Well, here's the thing: if you give it enough time, right? If you give it some space in between movies, you introduce some. I mean, we still have to deal with Scorpion. Scorpion was set up in Homecoming. There's other villains they can bring in that haven't even gotten a proper live action adaptation yet. You give it a few years. You could deal with the tragedy. Maybe Peter Parker's like, well, if there's variants, right, introduced in Loki, that there's an MCU version of Norman Osborn, Otto Octavius. Maybe it could be like a tragic story where it's like he's trying to reach out to them, maybe to try and like prevent them becoming villains, but it's an idea of inevitability. There's no way you can stop it, right? That could be an interesting story if they really wanted to go that way. There's different ways you can approach it.
I want to bring up Gavin's comment here. So Todd Fair here with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Todd. Says Enosh, I know you think a lot of Marvel movies are popcorn movies, but if you watch the movies, you can tell the stories give billions of people joy. Todd, I am not in a disagreement with you there. They are popcorn movies. They're absolutely popcorn movies, and there's a lot of heart there as well. And of course, they give, I don't know about billions of people, but they give millions of people joy. Okay, they give a lot of people joy, and that's great. I don't have any problem with that. It can be a popcorn movie and not have like great weight on your life or whatever, and still bring you joy. There's a lot of things that bring me joy. I watched Superman 3 and it brings me joy. It ticks other people off, but I like it. You know, like we were just talking about DL and I were just DL and I did almost 45 minutes last night on Batman and Robin. It was almost like a commentary on Batman and Robin, the movie. And we were talking about how much it sucked and we're laughing about it. But then we're like dissecting it. Like we're coming up with all these funny things that brought us a lot of joy. And we laugh about now because it's funny and it plays as a good comedy, a decent comedy, actually. Yeah. But, you know, yeah, I mean, look, when I say a popcorn movie, I don't mean it in a negative term towards that. I just say like it doesn't have the weight of like The Dark Knight. Okay, the Dark Knight, like the Dark Knight series, like I think by the third one, even it actually brings that series down of how
I still like the Dark Knight Rises,
and that's fine.
I do too,
and that's fine. I like it, but I hate the concept. I don't like No Man's Land. I just don't like that story at all. I don't.
Oh man, you're gonna hate. I think they're gonna keep pushing that storyline in more movies. To be honest,
I hope
they
not.
need to.
I hope to God
they need to stop.
Because there was a rumor I read actually that they're gonna do that storyline in Titans and in the Batman. Well,
they're already doing it in Titans, but they're not doing it to that extent, man. You can see that they're doing that in Titans because they've closed off all of Gotham City to everything. But the way that they did it in Titans isn't like it's similar.
It makes more sense to you.
It makes more sense. It's not stupid like other incarnations have been. And so, but like I said, a popcorn movie is fine, man. I don't have any issue with popcorn movies. I think it takes all kinds of movies. They're popcorn superhero movies. That doesn't mean they're bad. Todd, I have never once said that Marvel movies are just bad movies. There are some bad Marvel movies.
Even I'll agree with that. I'm a Marvel guy.
And even the great ones, even the great ones have flaws. People are ignoring them. That's what's irritating. Or they criticize you if you say they have problems. Ignoring what,
though, to be fair?
I mean, okay, I can't speak for everyone in the fandom, but like when I normally talk to people that are huge Marvel fans and they love a certain movie and they don't have a lot of problems with it, bring up some points that I thought could have been better. And then they're like, they don't want to talk to me about that. They just want to.
I get that deal. I think it's an issue with fandom in general, though, because when you're passionate about something, you really love something, and you get addressed for criticism, you're like, you're going to defend it. You're going to defend it to your dying breath, you know.
I'll give you all one. Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh boy!
When that movie released, I was so looking forward to it because Silver Surfer, the thing my mind instantaneously went to was Galactus, one of the best characters, one of the most interesting characters, at least from my perspective, in the Marvel universe. And what did they do? They made Galactus an angry cloud. An angry cloud. And I was livid. And this is before the internet was really a thing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you right now, if YouTube and the internet had been a thing, I would have been on here going, Marvel, and I think it was 20th Century Fox who released or had the rights to it at the time. I would have said,
20th Century Fox.
What the hell were you thinking? You had a gold mine on your hands in terms of introducing Galactus. Honestly, like I said, one of the most interesting characters in the Marvel universe, and you made him a freaking cloud. And now you didn't need a giant guy in purple armor. You could have done a redesign on him. But Galactus is not an angry
But that's
cloud.
There was many mistakes made with that.
But here's a great question about Galactus, for example.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that character?
You do it earnestly. You do it straight from the comics, and you just go for it.
You just go for literally a giant guy in space in purple.
You watched What If, right?
You hold the planet.
Wait, you watched What If, right? You watched all of it. I mean, Ultron was doing some things in the 8th episode.
Yeah, that one shot and everything in the
but I'm not talking about power wise. I'm not talking about.
No, I know, but like visually, I think they can do it.
Visually is what RJ's talking about.
Have you guys seen the? Have you guys played Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes, I have.
You guys know that the cinematic cutscene with Galactus, where he had a black instead of purple, and they could do something like that for a movie.
Yeah, they could have done it.
But how do the Marvel superheroes fight a guy who literally can hold the planet in his hand?
When you're
that's all. I'm not being facetious either.
No.
That's
I get what you're.
Because
understand what you're saying.
Because I don't like the cloud either. I don't like the cloud either. Look, they did the same problem with Green Lantern. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
It's like
with the parallax,
fighting a giant fart cloud. Like it ticks me off. But I don't know how you do Galactus because you wouldn't even see a person fighting. You know what I mean? Like you got one like on the tip of his finger, even you wouldn't see it.
Here's the thing. The characters didn't necessarily always fight Galactus. They either fight his intermediaries and they would defeat their intermediaries. Okay, I'll give you. This is going to be a bit of jumping way back. When Fantastic Four was first introduced, one of the first main villains or characters that was introduced for the Fantastic Four was Galactus. What they did was they had someone be an intermediary to reason with Galactus. Now, the Fantastic Four did go up against Silver Surfer. It was kind of a stalemate because the Fantastic Four combined could kind of hold off Silver Surfer, but obviously no, they couldn't hold off Galactus. There was simply no way. They had the Watcher, or one of the Watchers, I think it might have been Uatu, who came in and said, hey, Galactus, you can't devour this world because this world is too important and you need to leave it alone. And it kind of ended in a stalemate. So what we'll probably see at some point is when we get to Galactus, which will probably be when the Fantastic Four is properly introduced.
And it probably won't be so much or third movie.
Yeah, he won't so much be a direct combatant. He will be more of a direct threat, but he'll have others acting on his behalf that the heroes and the other characters will have to go up against. But you will have, I imagine you will have other cosmic beings that will intercede to prevent Galactus from carrying out the devouring of Earth. Because here's the thing: first and foremost, Galactus is not a villain per se. The reason why he eats planets is not because he is evil. It's because he has to do it so that he can exist. Because the backstory on Galactus, and this is a very deep cut, Galactus's actual name was Galen. He was a being from a universe that existed before the Big Bang. And what ended up happening when the Big Bang occurred, it destroyed his universe. But he was the only being from that universe to survive. He was finally able to form a corporeal body for himself and able to exist within what we know as the main Marvel universe. But part of the condition of him existing is he has to consume planets to survive and generate his power. Now, Galactus on his own, he's a heavy hitter. It's very difficult to take him down. I mean, for heaven's sakes, in one particular not continuity, but storyline, he is a quote-unquote herald of Franklin Richards. Because Franklin Richards himself is what is categorized as an Omega level mutant. He is an exceedingly powerful mutant. He is a dimension warper. He is very difficult to defeat. And when you have a character like Galactus, who is a cosmic being a herald for a character like Franklin Richards, you get a scaling of the power between Franklin Richards and Galactus. When Galactus goes, yes, I will do what you say, Franklin Richards, even though you are just a mere mortal, but you have all of this power, so I am.
And by the way,
coerced.
Agatha Harkness is connected to the Fantastic Four and Franklin Richards, so there's your reason for why she's getting the show.
I do want to address real quick Captain James Biggins' comment here. Can the Eternals take down Galactus? They may not be able to take him down, but they would probably have a better time, or a slightly better time.
No, because I thought isn't Galactus
combating him?
Isn't Galactus even more powerful than the Celestials?
No, the Celestials are slightly more powerful. I would say that they're probably on the same level as Galactus, but here's the difference. The more Galactus has to exert himself, the more energy he eats up. With the Celestials, they don't have that weakness. So essentially, the Celestials could battle Galactus to the point where he's so weakened that he can't fight anymore. Whereas the Celestials can just keep going. Now, there is a race of beings that was introduced a few years ago called the Beyonders, not to be confused with the Beyonder from Secret Wars. The Beyonders are a race of trans-dimensional beings who go through the Marvel or go through the universe, killing and devouring the energies of other cosmic beings. See, that's how the structure of the MCU works. Right now, we have gotten just.
So I want to comment on something that James Biggins just commented. No, that's all right. But first, I want to read this comment by Gavin Cooley, because he said this a little bit up there in the chat. Because the MCU Norman isn't going to be Goblin, he's going to be Iron Patriot.
Oh, dude! If the MCU gets their hands on Norman Osborn, that's a few years of storytelling right there. Dark Reign, Dark Avenger, Secret
Well, that's
Invasion.
what he says. I'm telling you right now, Norman Osborn, the MCU version, will be a good guy. That's going to be the intriguing part. He'll be Iron Patriot from Dark Reign.
Good guy in quotes. He pretends to be a good guy to the public, but he is pulling stuff behind the scenes.
Sure, but then again, though, that goes back to DL's point, though, doesn't it? Is that you're not really going to get a proper Norman Osborn.
See, but that would address your
Green
criticism,
Goblin,
though, because it'd be a very different version from what you're used to.
But you're not going to be able to introduce him as Green Goblin, because he's always like, if you do something else with him, you make him Iron Patriot, okay, so he's Iron Patriot, right, or whatever he is, right? But if
they could do Ultimate Green Goblin, where he's more like the hulking monster.
That would be cool.
Or you don't do a traditional Green Goblin, but you introduce the Hobgoblin instead.
Actually, let's do Hobgoblin. I would like to do that.
I'm just saying, there's ways to get around the. I understand what you guys are addressing. I do think it's a problem, but there's ways to get around it. I think could work.
All right, real quick. Hey, Kenneth, ask this question on another stream, Like when we do one of our lounging around streams, Kenneth, if you could ask this question then, because I would love to get into this question. But we're on this, and I think that'll take us on like a whole
Yeah,
other
that'll
thing.
take us on a
Yeah,
big.
that's like a topic for a show like one night. Captain James Biggins, but I appreciate the question though, because it's a great one. Captain
That's a
James
good
Biggins says the problem to me was how the comics brought Galactus in as a giant planet eater with no way to kill him, almost no way to harm him. Same thing with the idea of Unicron, which is absolutely right. I mean, when they made Unicron is pretty much Galactus, but a transformer, and
Yes.
almost impossible to stop and destroy. But there were found ways to do so. Here's my thing. So I literally just watched Transformers the movie in theater a few days ago. Okay, like a week ago.
Cool.
It was interesting watching that like on the big screen and seeing that and stuff like that. But you notice something. Unicron is always he's a threat. He does show up to like Cybertron and it does show him eating another planet or whatever, right? But like nobody literally fights him. Okay, and stuff happens on the inside of him, that Galvatron and Rodimus fight, and then the ship goes through his eye, and stuff happens to him. But it's kind of weird too, because like the ship goes through his eye should have been like much bigger than that ship. Like he's not really ever shown in full actual proportions, right? Because like if he transforms and a ship can go through his eye and like put a huge gaping hole through his eye, how in the world is he big enough that literally he's got a mouth that eats an entire planet in one bite? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense. The problem is with this is what I'm saying. Like when they brought Unicron into Transformers, and I think DL and I were talking about this last night too. When they brought Unicron into Transformers movies, the live action ones, they wussed out. They made the Earth Unicron, and hopefully we never find out what that garbage was meant to be, because nobody was happy with that. Nobody would have been happy with Unicron being planet Earth, because you're not going to transform him into a giant robot, because you're going to destroy the Earth. They've already destroyed the franchise. Might as well destroy the Earth in the thing too, and just let all the humans die so that you don't have to witness the crap that is Transformers on that planet anymore. But I digress. Reboot. Yeah. But here's the thing. I honestly think at this point, I know that people. Oh, we lost RJ. I know that people love Galactus. I feel like in the comic books he works really well because they can write stories really well for him. I have a sneaking suspicion, though, that Galactus is going to be one of these figures and characters that no matter what they do, it doesn't matter how they present Galactus, they're never going to make people happy, and people are going to be ticked off no matter how they introduce that character.
I have a feeling they're going to nerf him if they bring him in the MCU. They're not going to make him as powerful as he is in the comics. They probably just turn him into a giant kaiju monster, and the Avengers are going to fight him.
Well, here's the thing. There is a device in the Marvel Universe, and I think particularly within, just within the Marvel Universe, I'll keep it simple, that can be used to defeat Galactus. And it's something that the Watcher gives to the or makes aware to the Fantastic Four. They have to go get it themselves. They sneak into Galactus's ship and get it. It's called the Ultimate Nullifier. And I forget exactly how the device functions, but it is one of the few tools that can be used to defeat Galactus. So that's the thing we always have to remember. There is always one weakness or a couple of weaknesses, but they're very, very small and very, very hard to get a hold of to defeat these overly powerful beings. And they could very well do the exact same thing here with whenever they introduce Galactus into the MCU. And here's the thing. What's
up, Koopy Malik?
The other big issue for me was the story of Rise of Silver Surfer, I think, was overly convoluted. I mean, there were some good performances in there. Don't get me wrong. Lawrence Fishburne as the voice of the Silver Surfer, he was really good. I liked that particular aspect. I did like the whole issue of Sue and Reed trying to get married. There were some funny moments and some very heartfelt moments in there as well. But the overall trying to shoehorn Doctor Doom back into the movie just didn't fit. It didn't work. I mean, when you've got Galactus and Silver Surfer just on their own, that was more than enough. I think them trying to shoehorn Doctor Doom into this movie, and I will say this: I am still waiting for a good Doctor Doom in live action.
Yeah, we all are.
I mean, I never saw the Fan Force stick that Josh Trank did. Just have no interest.
Don't.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not saying I hate.
There's a movie in there somewhere. I will say that there is a movie in that somewhere, but halfway through it got destroyed. So
yeah. And as far as Julian McMahon goes for Doctor Doom in the 2 other Fantastic Four movies, he was okay, but Victor Von Doom was not an industrialist. He is a scientist, a sorcerer, and a self-made monarch. That's what he is. I would even think it'd be kind of cool if they did a Disney Plus series doing a backstory on Doom's rise to power. I'd watch it. I'd watch it in a heartbeat. Show us where he came from. Show us his struggle. You can almost make him a sympathetic villain, not an anti-hero, because obviously Doom is a villain. But you can make that story interesting enough that people will not necessarily be sympathetic, but they will be interested to see the journey that he goes on. I mean, they were able to do it in Doom 2099, which is by far one of my favorite series.
I have Doom 2099 #1.
I used to.
It's a great comic. It's a great cover. It's a great cover.
Yeah. Yes, it is. That chrome cover. Yeah.
Heck yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it's
a great cover.
There are ways that you can make Doom interesting and somewhat, for lack of a better term, sympathetic. It could work. You just have to be very tricky. You have to be very careful how you do it, because you don't want him to be.
Yeah, like I said in the chat, it's going to be so many years before you get Galactus anyway.
Oh, I know.
You can properly build him up, and I think he could be an end-all, be-all threat,
Yes, he is. He is.
What do you guys think? Okay, so I almost kind of agree though with these comments about how you almost have to depower him and not make him this like this picture here, for example. Like, if that just shows up, who's doing anything about that? You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. They're going to be introducing more powerful characters: Silver Surfer, Franklin Richards, the Beyonder.
Okay, Franklin Richards, exactly. I'm really worried about. Because of how powerful he is, to the point of unrealistically, how will he be stopped? With the world and the rules that they establish in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We get the comics out. What they established in the MCU. Will there be a possibility of him to be stopped if they make Franklin Richards anywhere close to how powerful he is in the comics?
I don't know. I'll wait and see how they introduce him, if he's even going to be in the MCU or what's going to be happening with that. But it's something to think about.
Okay, I think I've been called a lot of things, but Elephant Boy?
Oh, who's calling him that?
From this Johnny Coop? Was that supposed to be an insult? Because it didn't land particularly well.
Wow, okay.
But I don't know what that's about.
That's a good point, too. We haven't even gotten the mutants yet. yet, you know?
Oh yeah, that's another thing to think about.
But what do you guys think of this idea, though, that Galactus could be one of the Celestials turned rogue?
I mean,
that's not his origin.
I know it's not his origin, but look, would you put it past the MCU to change somebody's origin like that?
They would never change that drastically.
To
though.
make it fit.
Are you sure about that?
That's
Because
way
they've
too
done
big
that
of a
before.
change. It's
They've
too big of a
done it-
change.
Yeah, it's that's not
They've
his
done
origin.
changes. I'm not saying they've done changes, but that's way too big a leap, especially for a character that hasn't been done correctly yet.
Just
if
to
there are
make
other
it-
versions of Galactus that were done well, maybe
But
they
I'm
do something
saying-
more like this. But no.
But just to make it fit so it doesn't seem so ridiculously over the top, because like we said, this is a hard character to do, whether or not you're trying to do it, right or do justice. And you were, I don't know if you heard what I said, but like I just don't feel like anything that they portray that's like actually, Galactus as we know him, like I just don't see it going over well.
Honestly, Galactus is a fairly straightforward character to portray on screen. The concept of the character is relatively straightforward. It's just you've got to figure out the design and how you're going to scale his power. Is it going to be exactly as it's portrayed in the comics? But here's the thing, as I mentioned, the thing you have to remember, he does have a couple of vulnerabilities. If you have him expel too much energy, he does become weakened and can potentially die. So if you've got enough heroes together and enough heavy hitters together that can actually cause him some damage, they've got a
Wasn't
chance.
Galactus involved in the 2015 version of Secret Wars?
I don't know. I haven't read it.
I could have sworn he was in that, and that worked okay. Like, here's the thing, right? This is a universe where a giant purple man used magical rocks to wipe out half of the universe in a snap of his fingers. It's a universe where there's a talking tree and a walking raccoon going around. It's so absurd. I mean, you've already seen giants in the MCU. Is it that absurd to say, here's Galactus? Galactus is a really popular villain that people want to see in live action done justice. I think people will be accepting of it. Again, if you handle it correctly and treat it with the seriousness and treat it the way it needs to be treated.
Mervale of Beyond here says, I don't think it's that hard to do, Enosh. If they could make Thanos feel real, they can make Avengers fight Galactus. Here's the only problem I see with that. Thanos, he's a big guy, but he can't hold the planet in the palm of his hand and literally crush it and eat it.
True, but he has magical space rocks that do crazy things.
Yeah, but look, that's kind of like the genie in the lamp thing. I don't feel that that's so much of a far-fetched thing that they gave a MacGuffin that, like, hey, if you get all these stones together, they will grant you whatever you have in your mind. That's a trope. That's like a thing that's out there, man. You find something that's got a magical power. People can believe that. Having a guy who's 6'1", 6'4", 6'5", or whatever, having a team of people that size try to fight a being that literally you couldn't even see him if they were standing on his finger. That's just a different thing. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I feel like Thanos is a completely different type of thing. And honestly, Thanos, I felt like they kind of nerfed Thanos too.
Yeah.
Because they tried to make you feel sorry for Thanos and they made him a farmer, for goodness sake.
Well, that was for the comics, though.
Yeah, now that's actually accurate because in the aftermath of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, he does retire and go off to some distant planet that's pretty much uninhabited, and he does become a farmer. So that what they did with that particular element of his journey in Endgame was accurate.
And I would argue too, it's
it's
important to humanize him as well. I think you have to make the audience care about the villain. It's like if you're not interested in what he's doing, then you're not going to care about the emotional stakes of that entire 2-film arc.
Well,
you gotta care. I mean, I think you have to care about Thanos in some way, what he's trying to do.
Well, and here's the other interesting thing with what they did with Thanos, and here's an interesting little tidbit about Thanos himself. Thanos was his original origins. He was a mutated Eternal. His mother and father themselves are Eternals. Now they did change his origin somewhat. They made his home planet Titan, a alien world, not one of the moons of Saturn, which is where the Eternals actually are. Where the Eternals actually live. They changed his backstory a little bit to make him pure alien, not so much mutated Eternal. But the interesting thing about Thanos's backstory, he was a very brilliant scientist. He was very well respected amongst all the other Eternals on Titan. But the problem was he got in with the wrong crowd. Well, to be more specific, he got in with the wrong girl, which was essentially the cosmic being Mistress Death, which is just simply death.
So we've got some great comments here, and one of them actually pointed, because I wanted to bring up, says, well, comic book Thanos is stupid. He's just a massive simp for Lady Death. Now that's a major part of Thanos' story.
It is. And that's
true.
That they felt they need to change. Yeah, but the overall,
wouldn't you say though that that's a major part, and that was something gravely missing from the version
because
of Thanos?
I think they were able to still. The Thanos we got in the movies, his evolution and his journey was very different. He was acting on what he felt was the ends justifies the means. He is trying to balance the universe so that no one else has to suffer what he perceives as a terrible catastrophe that befell his home world of Titan, where he's the only one left.
Well, I'm sure if William was here.
Here's a question too. If Thanos felt that there was a lack of resources that the universe had, right, and that's why like half of everything had to die, why not use the Infinity Gauntlet to double the resources?
They asked that exactly. They asked that question. They asked that question. What if?
That's a fair question.
They literally asked, like, T'Challa brings up that point, and other people bring up that point to him. The thing is that Thanos was blinded by his justification. He was blinded by his rule. It needed to go his way, right? That was the way he saw it. That's the way he wanted it to go. He didn't want any other answer. That was the answer he believed in. He was going to do anything it took to get that. Plus, you could argue, too, he liked the killing. He liked the destruction in some regards. And Infinity War, he is almost the protagonist of the film. You see things from his perspective. You're meant to sympathize with him.
I agree.
When you get to Endgame's not there. He is not the protagonist. It's the Avengers. And you notice that, the way he acts and the way he juxtaposes himself is in stark contrast. Where it's like, maybe Thanos kind of is like, not necessarily doing this as he's not as morally just as he believes he is.
Yeah. Gavin here says, I think about how Godzilla movies made him so massive. Just do that in space. There's still a discrepancy there, though. I mean, between Galactic.
Yeah, it's probably more realistic than making him bigger than a planet. Even if they do this was my point. Even if they do Galactus right, you're still going to have diehard fans split on how he's portrayed in the movies and shows.
I'm sure there will be.
That's true.
I think at this point, anything's going to be better than a Cloud. At this point,
yes,
yeah,
I wholeheartedly agree.
DS here says, but Feige loves to make changes with the source material. Example, Skrulls in Civil War.
I would argue though that Civil War was changed for the better. Some of that comic has not held up the greatest. The Skrulls, it was an interesting change, not anything anyone was expecting, but we're still getting Secret Invasion. We're still getting evil Skrulls pretty soon, so...
Yeah,
I'm not really interested in Skrulls, though, either.
Well, Secret Invasion is such a great storyline, though.
The other thing is, if you think, honestly, in the grand scheme of the Marvel Universe, not the MCU, but just the Marvel Universe in general, the Skrulls... They're kind of.
They have one storyline. They have Secret Invasion. That's really it.
That's about it. Yeah, I don't hate them, but they're not my favorite characters.
I mean, you got the Super Skrull. You got the Super Skrull.
That's true. Yeah, you do get the Super Skrull, but again, that's a character that is a villain for another team that we haven't been introduced to yet, i.e. the Fantastic Four, because the Super Skrull essentially just has all the powers of the Fantastic Four.
I think there's a chance to introduce him in the Secret Invasion show, though, for later down the line. Like they introduce the Skrull who will become the Super Skrull, then stuff happens.
Maybe.
Mervale here says, I agree, Enosh. They made Thanos soft. He is just evil, like his mom saw evil in his eyes the moment he was born. So why should I feel sympathy for him exactly?
You're not meant to really feel sorry for him, though. That's the difference.
He says, Enosh, sometimes I miss villains just being villains. Voldemort, Sauron, like not everything needs to be sympathy. Sometimes people are just bad, and that's it. I do agree with that point.
I know, I get that. But
I get that too.
This is where people they misunderstand. You're not supposed to sympathize with Thanos. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to understand him. You may disagree with what he's doing, and you may disagree with what he believes in, but you understand his conviction. You understand why he's doing it. There's a massive difference between understanding and sympathy. The movie's not asking you to forgive Thanos for his actions or like, oh, I feel sorry for this, I can excuse his actions. No. You're still meant to disagree with him, but you're meant to understand him. I think that's the clear difference.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Dio.
I don't think I'm seeing all of the comments. Hold on a second, because let me go back here to. Oh, maybe I am. Okay, I'm sorry. It's
getting late. Our eyes are playing tricks.
My comments thing. Because I have the video open too. With the chat. Over here on the actual video, and I was seeing things from like a while ago, but I never remember seeing Belle Reeve show up. And
she was in here earlier. Yeah,
and I never saw it, and it was back. It was back there, and I just looked and I was like, "What?" Like I never saw her. I must have been doing something else so I apologize for missing her. But yeah, okay. So we had our debate. I think in the end, you did not win. You did not. You did not win.
Lost. We all won.
You did not win at all.
I don't think. You know what? Debates don't always have to end with a winner or a loser.
It wasn't really a debate, though. I feel like it was more like a discussion.
There's Thanos.
Jeez, Vader really let himself go.
There's Galactus.
He's dead.
There's Galactus.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think there's really much of a debate. I think it was just an interesting conversation. We talked about what we liked, what we didn't like, more spoilery context.
Exactly.
Overall, though, Enosh, are you looking forward to the Venom and Spider-Man crossover, whatever happens next?
Yeah, I do want to see what they do with it.
Were you disappointed that it was Tom Holland? Because some people really wanted to be Andrew Garfield.
Oh no, I'm not. I don't think it.
Because Andrew fits the tone of that universe more, I guess, was the reasoning.
I don't know that I'm not really.
I feel that, but like I don't think Andrew's gonna come back for more, so it's like I don't think there's a reason for us to hold on to that possibility.
Even if Andrew comes back for this, for this upcoming Spider-Man film, whatever we see in a couple of months, my point is that just what DL said earlier. Where are the villains for Tom Holland that's going to make Tom Holland's Spider-Man interesting and give us something for Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
Hey, Vulture and Mysterio could be in this. We don't know yet. Plus, I forgot to mention.
Seen them though, and like half of that was even like weird because Vulture turns out to be like, yeah, he's a bad guy, but yeah, he's not really gonna like screw Spider-Man over, and he's not really horrible.
Hey, remember,
it's Doc Ock and Sandman.
They got Scorpion coming. He wants to kill Peter Parker, man. I was gonna mention too. So with this Venom thing, Morbius, right? That Morbius trailer is even more interesting now because Michael Keaton was in it. So I have a feeling that Morbius and Kraven exist in the MCU. They're not going to exist in that Venomverse. Like starting now. All these movies are going to exist and run adjacently to the MCU, kind of like how the Netflix shows run adjacently. Which, when that happens, that's going to be fascinating. To have two little series going on, there's like one that's like running adjacently to everything else, but it's like doing its own thing.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
I just want to address Kenyatta Lee's comment here. Do you think the 2008 Hulk would beat Thanos? Not a snowball's chance in hell.
No version of Hulk would beat Thanos in the MCU.
2003 Hulk. I don't know.
Well, it's not MCU.
Well, in the comics, Thanos has.
People try to say the Hulk can beat Superman. I mean, come on, Superman would laugh at Thanos.
Hold on. If it's comic book Hulk, that's interesting. I'm not saying he'd win, but it'd be an interesting fight if it's comic book Hulk.
Well, the thing is, even Thanos said the Hulk is the one creature I actually fear. I have to finish him quickly because the longer the fight goes, the more powerful.
That's
he
why in
gets.
Infinity War he struck him so strategically to knock him out.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
but I agree. I think everybody made some good points tonight. There
The
ain't no
Immortal
Hulk.
Hulk. No, have you read the Immortal Hulk, the new comic by
Have you read
Ewing?
have you read Superman 1,000,000?
Superman 1,000,000. I
Yeah.
have to read that one.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
He's basically a god. If we're gonna go with different versions of the Hulk, then we get to go with different versions of Superman.
That's fair.
Death battle.
Just saying.
I love that channel.
I know.
Read Immortal Hulk though.
Enosh,
read Immortal Hulk. It's so good. It's so
I'm
good.
I'm just saying. But like my intro said, the Incredible Hulk will not be seen tonight. But no, it's a good discussion. Look, it doesn't change how I felt about the Venom movie, Venom 2. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Venom in the MCU. I hope SK here is correct, and
I think William owes me a signed comic book, by the way.
The spider logo. I think that that'll be interesting. The only reason, RJ, where I think that you actually have some potential there is because they brought Venom into the MCU,
and not the other way around. Because it feels, unless this is a big, I think this is all part of the Sony and Marvel renegotiation.
Unless it's a big backwards introduction where they're going to bring them in there and then they're all going to be gone because they're all going to get banished back to their own universe, and that's all you're going to see of them.
I don't think so, though.
Along with Spider-Man.
See, I don't think so.
That would be interesting. Is if that is Spider-Man's exit from the MCU, is that you introduce all these characters and then you got to close it off somehow and send people back to their respective universes. And when that happens, Tom Holland's Spider-Man gets sucked back as well and ends up in like the Venom verse or like wherever those the Sony verse.
See, I would think maybe that would happen, but we still have more movies on his contract with Marvel and Sony.
I'm just saying.
So he still needs to appear one more movie after this.
You could tell that story, though. You could tell that story. And I agree with Mervell. Injustice Superman will end Hulk. Because Injustice Superman just don't care. You get Superman who don't... See, that's the thing about Superman. Everybody thinks they can beat up Superman because Superman seems like the nice guy, right? That everybody looks at like, oh, look, like he's the nice guy. He's not going to hurt anybody. But when Superman actually wants to fight someone, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what he did to Darkseid, at least for a little while, in the finale for Justice League Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he told him straight up, I gotta, be careful with other people, but you can take it. So you don't want to tick Superman off. Everybody, if Superman's like the big dog that everybody's like, oh yeah, talking big talk, right? Like on your couch, like, oh, if I was in a fight with him, I'd beat him up. And then you get face to face with him, and you're like, yes, sir. No, we're good.
Well,
I didn't say anything.
I'm boned.
Yep. So, anyways, I think it was a great discussion tonight. And you know what? Actually, I think it would be cool to tackle other things like this, where we maybe have like some opposing views come into something like this, because I think this was a really beneficial discussion. The chat, you guys were awesome tonight. You guys were really great. You guys were definitely on it. You brought a lot to the discussion, a lot for us to think about, a lot for us to talk about. I thank the panel who was here tonight. You guys are fantastic. Everybody who came in and out. Tony, who was here earlier. Ambassador, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, sir?
You can find me on my channel, the Ambassador Wing. I cover pop culture, modern, retro. I do live streams. I do reviews. I do watch parties. I'm closing in on 450 subs. On the road to 500. I am on social media on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on several Discords. So you want to help out a little channel? Go check me out. You like what I do? Give me a sub.
There you go. Heck yeah. Go ahead, DL. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Y'all can find me on YouTube at I'm DL, where I also talk about movies and shows and everything in nerd geek culture. If you want to hear my takes on things, you go ahead and tune in. Talk about everything regarding Marvel, DC, Star Wars, James Bond, Disney, anything you can think of. So go ahead and check out my channel.
Heck yeah. And RJ, go ahead and tell them where they can find you, sir.
Yeah. If you want to follow me on everything, it's Resonant Justice right there underneath my little profile picture for Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So yeah, pretty easy to find.
Heck yeah. Well, guys, this was a lot of fun tonight, and so I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I thought it was a good discussion. I apologize that the first hour I got all emotional, but you know what? It is. You guys.
No.
We got such a great community here, and that's what I always appreciate so much are the people who are here, and you guys really make this great. Whether it's the panelists who come on, whether it's people in the chat, whether it's people who just comment on the videos later, like. You guys are really awesome, and so we thank you. Follow us, of course, on social media. You can find all of our social media links in the description of this video, and we'd love to hear from you. We'd love for you to be a part. Also, of course, all the information for everything else is all in the description. All the links are down there, and we'd love for you to be a part of the channel in any way that you can be a part of the channel, because this channel exists for you guys and for you to be a part of. So, thank you guys so much. Let's keep the conversation going long after these videos are done on social media and other places. And let's just continue to have some fun together. As I always say, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter. But seek to have good conversations like we did tonight, even though RJ is completely wrong and the movie sucked. Had to get it in.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Well, just remember. Hold on.
Kill him.
Oh, RJ. Well, you know what, RJ, in the immortal words of Matt Jarbo.
They're trying. Let me just break it down for you like this. I can summarize everything up in simply 2 words. You lost.
You cut it short.
About winners and losers.
Oh, you lost. It's as simple as that, buddy. It's as simple as that. Enosh rules, RJ drools. And you know what? It's your tears are sweet to the taste. Tastes like sugar. I'm just messing. Anyways, guys, I just told him that his fandom doesn't matter, but don't do that. Don't be like me.
Don't be like me. Be better than me.
Be better than me. Be better than me. Dance like you're Dawson, not knowing that people are filming you.
Oh, for the love of Pete.
Have fun. That's the important thing. Have fun with your fandom and with the people around you, and enjoy life, okay? And that's what we're going to continue to do. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight, and we will see you next time. Stay nerdy. Bye-bye.